think we might be on. Test it out and see, Chris. Thank God we found that Ethernet. See? I'm just glad we found that it's on live. Okay. Shut up. Testing 1, 2, 3. I got one. I printed them. No, that's the only one I got. Did you turn our mics down? Okay.
Okay, so what the only thing you have is charging your phone with this thing? No, you got everything. Yeah, that's the lifeblood of the whole system. Right? I don't want to F it up. That's good. Thanks, Pat.
He's not here yet, Herb.
6 minutes till kickoff. Beautiful view of Dayton in the background. It's a nice facility.
And a good evening, one and all, from Roger Glass Stadium in Dayton, Ohio. Tonight, the undefeated Badin Rams take on the 6-2 super tough Chaminade-Julienne Eagles. Joel Sackenheim and Dr. Dan Vogt. Glad that you chose to join us tonight. Dan, Badin, CJ, what more needs to be said?
I've been looking forward to this one all year, Joel. Interesting reviewing the stats. Chaminade is a run-dominated team this year.
Weird.
Very unusual. If you go through the stats, Chaminade is primarily – all right, I'll just throw the numbers out there. This year, 27-44, 2,744 yards rushing and 106 yards passing.
That is not your father's or even your older brother's Chaminade-Julienne Eagles.
So I think the key, Badin – offense being totally balanced within 50 yards versus the run and the pass for the season. Stopping the run for Badin, obviously their biggest priority. Chaminade, tough defensively. They're going to do it either way. Here's our kickoff, Joel.
Players to keep an eye on for CJ. We've got Nigel Wright, Ethan Stacy, and Malachi Ringer, 3 of the top 4 rushers in the GCL co-ed. Only Noah Jones of Alter is also in the top 4. Badin in monochromatic white.
Yes.
Playing against the monochromatic green CJ team, ready to return this football. There's the deep kick. And the return man for CJ. Looks like that's number 24, Colin Cadle, the junior, safety.
And he got to the 24-yard line.
And so CJ is going to start with the ball. Dan, this is my first time to Glass Stadium here in downtown Dayton. This
nice facility, isn't it?
Used to be a junkyard at one point in time. This is gorgeous.
It is gorgeous. I love the view. Well, you can't see it from where we're at now, but earlier you could see the Gem City, Dayton, Ohio, the buildings in the background above the stadium. That was Nick Rings on a tackle for Badin on the opening kickoff.
High rises all over the place in the background. I'm sure we'll get Dad to show the background soon. Look at this, a wing T formation for CJ and the handoff. And that's going to be number 6, Nigel Wright, the leading rusher in the GCL. Sorry, number 5, Aiden Lowry, looks like.
And Royce Rochelle, the junior from Badin, with the tackle. I think we're going to see this pretty much based on the yards I gave you earlier. It's going to be old school Terry Malone football going up against old school Terry Malone Badin Rams.
So
interesting.
Badin also has the spread, of course, offensively.
Yes,
so
of course.
A little different formation to be shown there here. Second down now for the Chaminade-Julienne Eagles. A toss. Looks like that is to number 1, Ethan Stacy, and Stacy is driven back. And
Badin said none of that there.
He's going to get a generous spot with forward progress because a lot of that backwards was after the forward progress was stopped.
We'll give Zach Yorty the credit for the tackle there, the senior. He can do it all, play linebacker, running back, coach's son, good football player.
Third down and 5 now for the Eagles.
See if they pass here.
My guess,
no.
Handoff goes around.
And he pops it.
A big run there for Aiden Lowry.
Great blocking.
And Lowry's across 40-yard line.
Wow. Big play. That was Drew Edinger, the tackle for Badin, the senior. Big play there. That's what Chaminade wants to do. They have to impose their will. They got to run the ball early. That's what they have done all season. We'll see if this continues. 1st
and 10 for the Eagles. Now, it is so weird seeing CJ in a wishbone, flexbone formation.
Fumble,
Ball
snap.
hits the ground, handed to the fullback, wrapped up. It's going to be a loss of yardage there for Badin.
Wow.
It looks like the fullback, Nigel Wright, was the one accepting the handoff, and Badin's number 90, Jared Livelsberger, the last one getting off the pile there.
Another senior. Looks like Badin has a lot of seniors on this team.
2nd down and 12 for the Eagles. The world's largest logo stretches 28 yards long.
Yeah, we were discussing that.
This is going to be a busted play, it looks like.
Wow.
And the quarterback, number 12, that's Isaac Sullivan, is going to end up keeping the ball on the busted play and not gain a whole lot.
That's Jared Levisberger again on a tackle, 2 straight tackles. Boy, when I see Chaminade line up in this way, it's strange.
I will say, Dan, seeing a Chaminade-Julienne team with a quarterback number 12 wearing Kelly green and that eagle wing on the helmet.
Oh, there you go.
Looks like QB Eagles, doesn't it? For
QB
anybody that's a
Eagles,
fan.
yes.
Randall Cunningham.
Randall Cunningham.
3rd down and 12. This is going to be a handoff up the middle. The fullback is going to stumble and bumble, and a great play-action fake Didn't fool down the
my
cameraman.
goodness.
Nigel Wright is going to punch that ball out for over 50 yards on that carry. And the Eagles are in business.
It's just a quick play straight up the middle. Great blocking up front. He popped it, and boy, he could run for a fullback.
A lot of window dressing involved in that play, but it was nothing more than a fullback dive.
That's what it was.
A lot of yardage. And
Right.
CJ very quickly to the line. Look how close the fullback is behind the quarterback. A toss sweep here.
Wow, this is just so old school.
I'll tell you who this reminds
Look
me
at
of.
this. It's like a rugby play.
And that's Aiden Lowry on the carry. Dan, I'll tell you what this reminds me of. And it's
Yes.
a team that CJ saw in the playoffs a couple years ago.
Ritzy on the tackle. Go ahead.
St. Mary's Memorial.
Yes.
You remember
Yes.
them?
Yes, I do.
St. Mary's Memorial would very, very quickly get to the line of scrimmage and bunch everybody up real tightly in formation and kind of hurry up power running game.
I'm waiting for Jared Hurst here to get pushed in the rear end and fall forward for the touchdown.
Eagles looking at tush push. Head up.
Yes.
This is to number 4, Malachi Ringer, a sophomore. When you see the last name of Ringer here at CJ,
Javon Ringer.
that obviously brings up some memories as well.
What a player. He went to Michigan State. When he played Badin, I think the first 4 times he touched the ball, he scored a touchdown. I was over at Hamilton.
Back in 2004.
It's been that long.
I've got a
Wow.
story to tell here, but we'll wait until after the 3rd and goal play here.
Third
I will
and goal.
absolutely share my Javon Ringer play.
I'm going to tell you right now, 2 runs, and they're going to go for it on 4th and goal if they get stopped here on 3rd. We'll see.
Man goes in motion. There's a handoff up the middle.
Plowing.
To the fullback.
Nothing.
Right. The leading rusher in the GCL co-ed, and he is wrapped up
That was
by
Drew.
a couple of Rams.
Yeah, Drew Edinger on the tackle, another
Edinger,
senior.
and then also number 42 involved in the play, and that is Nate Ostendorf.
And it looks
senior
like I was
linebacker.
wrong about that. They're going to bring out the field goal squad. It's pretty much an extra point here.
And we have Meliana Papalios, the female kicker.
There you go. Go, girl.
For CJ, trying to tack on 3 points here and open up the scoring. And the kick is up for Papalios. And is good.
Thank you, Al Michaels.
And the
Good.
Chaminade-Julienne Eagles with a very nice drive starting off the game to take a 3-0 lead on the Badin Rams. Dan, what'd you notice that was impressive about that drive?
Well, I just noticed that they said to Badin, we're running at you, try and stop us. And Badin, they couldn't do it. A nice couple big pops on the play on a 3rd down. They hit for about 30, and then, gosh, the fullback plowing up the side with the window dressing, as you call it, the fake reverses and things. But it's basically a dive off the right guard, 50-yard run. Badin was stout, though, when it counted. Stopped him, held him to 3. Now we're going to see the more modern style offense where Badin is going to spread the offense.
Take a look at this camera angle here.
Yes.
You see some of the high rises of Dayton over to the left here.
Yes. Look at
You see
Neil.
the Gem City there.
Good job,
In
Neil.
the background.
There you
and
go.
then swerving that over toward the right, you're going to
Yes.
see the church that overlooks Chaminade-Julienne High School there.
Beautiful.
Absolutely stunning.
And what a great night for a football game. I'd say it's about 68 degrees here.
Ball is on the tee for the kickoff as we resume here. And it's a deep kick. Returnable.
Fumbled.
Ball bobbled. And that's number 3. That's
Carson Cheeks.
No, that's not Cheek. That's Buckle. Austin Buckle.
Austin
And
Buckle is
making a few
rumbling.
tackles. And he's going to be across midfield. The Badin Rams are going to have beautiful starting field position. But there is a flag down all the way back around the 27-yard line. So hold your horses, Badin fans. You may not get the field position you hoped you were going to get.
You're going to get about the 12-yard line.
Dan, I was statting
Yes.
the Badin Rams
Okay.
when the GCL went to all computerized statistics.
Yes.
This was the Dave Worth era after he had just taken over for Terry Malone.
Right.
Chaminade-Julienne came into Virgil Schwarm Stadium, and as you said, Javon Ringer had an amazing night for CJ that night. And I went in on Monday into Badin to print off the stats and hand them to Coach Worth.
Yes.
And he jumped. That big man had jumped higher than I've ever seen that man jump in my life. He was so happy that they held him under 300. That was how good Javon Ringer was.
Well, 17-yard line, I was wrong. I said the 12. First down for Badin from the 17.
This is going to be a fake handoff as Ritzy's going to keep this ball and is wrapped up by number 15, Joe Hudson, the junior
Absolutely.
defensive end.
Yeah, great defense there by Chaminade. They were not fooled.
There is a flag on the play. We'll see what is called here. You wonder if it's going to be holding because it wasn't a very effective hold if it
Yeah,
happened.
it might be a face mask.
Personal foul. Dan, you're right. It is a face mask on the Eagles. And so a first down for the Rams, 15 yards down the field.
I didn't really see the face mask, but the official was running at such a pace, he wanted to get that 15 in pretty quick. So he did.
7 minutes remaining in the first quarter of play. Joel Sackett, I'm Dr. Dan Vogt. Glad you're here with us in the Butler County High School Sports Report. Ritzy in the shotgun formation. Man goes in motion. That's Buckle, and that's the throw. Sorry, Aiden Brown, number 1.
Good play.
Brown is going to catch the ball, get outside the 40-yard line, tackled by Dorian Carter Jr. of the Eagles.
Looks like he got the first down, Joel.
They are moving the sticks at the top of your screen, so a 1st and 10 for the Rams. This couple plays, couple first downs, one via penalty, one via offensive yardage. To the 42-yard line, a gain of exactly 10 on the pass to Brown. And shotgun formation again for Ritzy. They take most of their snaps out of the shotgun, Dan. Handoff. Not a lot of doing there.
Not at all.
CJ defense wraps up Lem Grayson.
Nice stout linebacker with a play.
I'm going to call out 52, Michon Stevens with the tackle.
5'11", 240. Now that's a bulky
Stout.
young man. Absolutely. He's a fire plug in there.
2nd down and 12 from the 40-yard line for the Badin Rams.
Looks like Baden's in an obvious passing formation, but I do see the quarterback run out of this quite often for Badin.
Ritzy's going to go ahead and take the snap. Fakes the handoff to Gracie. He's going to roll.
Wide
Pass
open.
to the crossing route. That's Buckle. Buckle's going to juke, spin, get across the line to gain. Dorian Carter Jr. is going to pop him, but for a first down, and the Badin Rams are on the move.
I'll tell you, it looks like the pass might be where it's going to be for Badin tonight. Early on here, it just seems like they're wide open in the flats, and it's going to be what's going to win, the run game or the pass game. I'm telling you.
Well, CJ, you know, in practice, their defense is used to guarding this bunch formation.
Right.
So this is going to spread them out a lot more. Handoff goes up the middle. This is Zach Yorty. Yorty breaks one tackle.
What an effort.
Gets about 12 yards, and is going to have a first down. Finally wrapped up by Kalian Russell, number 3.
Kalian saved a touchdown, I would say, on that play. 5'10", only 140 pounds. Yorty there, I mean, he had 45 pounds on him. Without that shoestring tackle, he'd be still running, Joel.
1st and 10, Rams. Handoff up the middle. Not much doing on that particular play.
They went to the well one too many times with that up the middle, but hey,
Once
it
again,
worked.
the nose tackle, Michon Stevens with the tackle for CJ.
I see Yorty's philosophy here. If it's not broke, don't fix it. You know, run up the middle, boom, they got the first, and then try it again. But like you said, they're familiar with that.
This is so wild. Switch the jerseys and go back in time 15 years ago, right?
Absolutely,
I mean,
yeah.
CJ's offense looks like what Terry Malone would run, and Baden's offense looks like what traditional CJ would run here.
Right.
Shotgun, multiple wide receivers.
2nd and 9.
There's the snap. There's the rollout for Ritzy. Ritzy's looking. He wants to go deep, decides to tuck it and run instead, and is wrapped up on the play. Looks like number 15. That's Joe Hudson.
Great play by Hudson there because he did have a man open in the end zone. I didn't get his number, but it is very hard as a right-handed quarterback in high school to roll to the left side, throw across your body, and Ritzy could never get his feet set to do that because of the pursuit.
3rd down.
Big 3rd down. 9 yards here for the Rams.
Looks like we got 4 receivers all to the top of your screen. Look for the wide receiver screen. Now, man goes in motion now. And this is going to be the wide receiver screen.
And he missed him.
Pass incomplete. That was intended for Connor Wright, number 2. We'll see what Badin does here. They're a bit in no man's land. It's 4th and 9. You don't love to go for 4th and 9, but you're about the 32-yard line. Be a 49-yard field
goal.
goal.
Yeah, 49, 50. Yeah, I say they're going to call a timeout and think it over. Well, they're huddling up already.
They know what their play is going to be.
Yeah, play clock at 22 seconds. They're quick.
4th and 9 for the Rams.
The Cowbells are rocking here at Roger Glass Stadium.
Coverage adjustment for CJ at the last minute. Ritzy's going to look.
Batted down.
Batted down.
That was an absolute drive saver there. That was number 55 for Chaminade. That would be Elijah Berman, a sophomore, 6 foot 248. Got his big paw up there, as John Madden would say. And trust me, the Rams had that play if he wouldn't have stuck his hand up.
And Berman gives the ball back to the Eagles.
Chris Berman, there you go. He was the elder Berman of the Berman kids.
Oh, wow. Talk about high rises and shops and department stores from back in the day.
There you
First
go.
and 10 for CJ at the 32-yard line. Handoff up the middle for Wright. And not a lot of yardage there for Nidrell Wright.
Nidrell, yeah, he got stopped there. I'm going to give that tackle to the Badin Rams. That would be 42.
The Ostendorf.
Yes, the number 1 tackler for Badin this year. We'll be calling his name a lot. He's leading the team in tackles this year.
This is going to be, as they say, assignment football. It's not really necessarily the traditional triple option here, but a lot of window dressing for CJ. You got to figure out who's got the ball. This is the quarterback keeping the ball in this case.
Beautiful
and he's
play.
Wrapped up by Yordi on defense for a loss of yardage.
It was
Isaac
like
Sullivan,
a little
no gain there.
RPO fake. Didn't mean to talk over you there.
Good.
Zach Yordi, he read the play all the way, stayed with the quarterback, hoped the quarterback would not hand the ball off. He didn't. Yordi with the big tackle. Huge loss. Big third down coming up here for Chaminade. What is that, 3rd and 13, Joel?
3rd down and 13, Dan. We'll
All
see
right.
if they want to actually throw this ball or if they want to just, hey, got a 3-0 lead. Let's do what we do well. And if we pop it, great. And if we don't, punt.
They're just
I
crowded
can't get
in.
over how close this fullback Wright is to Sullivan
Yeah.
in the backfield.
We got
A whistle blows.
I
A
think it's
flag goes. I think
illegal.
somebody might have moved early.
or illegal formation or something.
Dead ball, false start is the call.
You were right, Joel.
Yep.
Now, if
Dad's
there's
panning all the officials, but he didn't find the one with a white hat.
if there's any time we might see a pass, 3rd and 18 would be it, or maybe a quick punt. What do you think?
Could be.
If they had a Ben Roethlisberger back there, somebody could punt the ball out of the quarterback position.
I got to think if you don't love your passing game, maybe you just go ahead and call this draw play and see what happens.
That's what
This is the handoff to Wright, and Badin's defense not fooled on that one. Fool
Not
me
at
once,
all.
shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Badin's defense is going to get a 3 and out, and they're going to get the ball back to the Rams.
I'll tell you, the way this is working out, the safeties and the corners back there for Badin, they're going to be kind of bored.
So true.
We'll see what happens. It's very old school. I love it.
Well, you wonder what will happen if defensively, if the cornerbacks go ahead and just try to start cheating in. It does open. Well,
it opens up
where
all
does the
kind of
quarterback
things.
line up, though, if you don't have a wide receiver?
Exactly. Badin's back at their own 40 to receive the punt. They're respecting the punting.
They are. The deep man is Aiden Brown. This ball is going to land well short, though. It's going to go out of bounds before midfield. Badin's going to have beautiful field position for their second drive of the game.
Yeah, that.
Here comes the cliffhanger. Yodel-oo-doo, yodel-oo-doo-doo, yodel-oo-doo-doo, yodel-oo-doo-doo.
He's still marching.
Still marching. Yodel-oo-doo, to the 40-yard line.
A 15-yard punt. Boy, the cliffhanger. He hung
Cliffhanger.
himself. Yes.
That's right. That always is what reminds me, Dan, when you see that linesman go up the field and look back at the referee.
And
just
the
walk the
punt
yard line.
always goes out of bounds on a perfectly even yard marker. It's never at the 48.5, the 37.5. Look at it. It's right on the 40.
Maybe when the NFL installs the sensors in the footballs, we'll be able to
Have
get
an
an accurate depiction
a
of
30
that.
and a half, right.
More of a pistol formation now as Ritzy has Yordi in the backfield with him. You've got Brown and Buckle, as well as number 18. That's James Brink out there on the right side. And this is a fake handoff to Yordi. Ritzy keeps it himself and is wrapped up
Yes, wrapped
by
up.
Zion Woods, number 8 of Chaminade-Julienne.
Yeah, he's a senior. He plays tight end and defensive end. 6'2", 180 pounds. Tall kid. He was not fooled. Quick moving first quarter, Joel, as is the case when you have a lot of running game.
CJ, I'm sure, is playing a lot quicker games these days.
I know. We got a minute to go in the quarter.
Remember when Dave Wirt took over Badin and how much longer those games went compared
Incomplete.
the
Stop the
Rams
clock.
fans were
Stop the
used to.
clock.
All of a sudden, you couldn't get to Flubs after the game and get yourself your
That's
ice
right.
cream.
2nd 10.
This is a running play
Yes.
to Buckle, the backwards pass. And Buckle is going to have about 3 or 4 yards here. It's going to set up a 3rd and manageable. Badin does not have to run another play here if they don't wish. There's 34 seconds on the game clock and 39 on the play clock.
And I don't think they're going to.
Well,
Well, we'll see.
Maybe you line up. Maybe you see if you can draw them off sides. See if you can get 5 free yards here. It's going to be a 3rd and 6.
Badin has no indication that they're going to, which I don't know. I say you try and
maybe you line up.
Yeah, they're going to try. Maybe they could try and bark them off, get a 5-yard penalty.
8 seconds left to go. 7, 6, 5. We'll see if Ritzy decides to snap that.
He doesn't. Nope.
And the whistle blows, and that will end quarter number 1. So at the end of the first quarter, it's the Chaminade-Julienne Eagles 3 and the Badin Rams nothing. We'll be right back after this message from Matandi Steel.
Our customers mean everything to us. We're in a commodity business, so we have to maintain these special relationships with our customers. We have to honor our word. We have to be true to our word, and we have to perform at a very high level.
Back here at Glass Stadium, the Chaminade-Julienne Eagles have a 3-0 lead on the Badin Rams going into the second quarter of play. Badin has a 3rd and 6 starting out quarter number 2. They are in CJ territory after a very short punt.
And Joel, if you think about it, they're also in no man's land again at about the 36-yard line. So let's just say hypothetically they get half the yardage. You know, they can't kick the field goal, so it's probably 2 plays to get the first down here.
Golden opportunity for the Rams. We'll see how CJ's defense with 3 down-man linemen, now a 4th man rushing in. This is going to be a handoff up the middle against the weaker defensive line, the short-manned defensive line, I should say.
That was Yordy. And like I said, he's short, so.
Here comes the beef.
Okay.
Look for the formation that Badin ran against Fenwick, where Yordy is the lead blocker and Grayson is going to get the handoff possibly, as Yordy is going to go for this on 4th and 1 here.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be trying 47-yard field goals, even though Badin did do a 40
last week against Alter. They did.
Yeah.
Looks like in the backfield, it is Yordy behind Ritzy. 2 receivers only, but double tight ends off to the line. And this is, again, a handoff to Yordy, who's going to break it for a first down across the 25-yard line.
Quite easily.
Wrapped up and tackled by Colin Cadle, but nowhere near enough. Early enough for CJ, a first down for the Badin Rams.
So Badin's converting into the Chaminade offense here, plowing it when they need to.
That's it.
Which is very effective.
1st and 10 Badin, as they are now in field goal range, but the Rams obviously would like to have a little bit more on this drive than just 3, given the starting field position. 1st and 10, handoff again to Yordy. He's going to go off tackle to the left, dances around, and contain is met.
Nice play.
Tackle made by number 47, Keegan Fowler. He was the number 1 tackler in the entire GCL co-ed coming into tonight.
Excellent.
First time we've called his name tonight, but he is certainly everywhere on CJ's defense. Gain of only 1 for Yordy. What a great atmosphere, Dan. Glass Stadium.
It's nice. We got to figure out who Roger Glass is. We'll come
Only
back.
About 7 years old, this facility.
We'll have to ask the locals here who he is, so we can give you
Badin
info.
would love to have by New London Road.
Well, they're shooting for it.
Shooting for it. Ritzy's going to scramble here.
He's going. He's
Throws
got
the
him.
ball
Oh, he dropped it.
off of the fingers
Ooh.
of the intended receiver. Trying to see who that was. It looks like
Number
it was
3.
Buckle. Yep, Austin Buckle couldn't quite get his hand around that ball. He'd love to have that back, I think. Floaty pass right over the linebacker.
Austin's a tough kid. I'm sure he feels bad about this. He'll redeem himself. Big 3rd and 9 coming up now. Thank you.
3rd down and 9. 3rd down and 9 for the Rams. Shotgun formation. It's all up as a screen play. Yordy.
It didn't work.
And he did not fool CJ's defense. I'm on the wrong roster.
Zion Woods.
Zion Woods.
We've said his name a few times. Fourth
First time
down.
I've
Looks
ever
like
called a game with a digital roster here, Dan. I'm not used to this.
that's okay. We got 4th and 9. Looks like a
Field
long
goal formation.
Yeah, a long one. 43.
Badin field goal kicker number 88, Nick Warner. He's their place kicker. This is 43 yards.
You gotta love the soccer players.
This will be challenging. The snap, the kick. Does it have the leg?
He's wide left.
And short as well. CJ's defense holds. Now here's the one bright spot of that, Dan. It's a touchback.
It's a touchback.
In high school football, it's a touchback. That's no different than punting the ball into the end zone.
So you could kick it from midfield and try a 60-yarder.
And as long as it gets to the end zone,
It has to get the end zone.
it's a touchback.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
That's the old school rules. I'm so old, I remember the NFL had touchbacks on
Well,
missed
the
field
interesting thing
goals.
with high school football, too, is if you're short and don't hit the end zone, you could down it, and it'd be like a punt.
Oh, my gosh. I did not know that.
How about that?
Wow.
1st and 10 for the Eagles and their muddle huddle formation.
Muddle huddle. I like that.
And the handoff. It's a toss sweep.
It works well.
Trying to break contain there. The running back is number 5. That's Aiden Lowry. And Lowry's having a real nice go of it tonight. He's had
yes.
several nice gains.
Yes, Aiden Brown on the tackle. Baden's number 1 receiver.
1st and 10, CJ, as they cross the 30-yard line. This offense is certainly not something Badin has seen much of this year.
No.
And again, Dan, I don't think I've ever seen a fullback lineup so close
Yeah.
to a quarterback. And this is Wright. And Nigel Wright, the fullback, is going to spin his way. Kind of look like a running back on Madden hitting the circle button over and over and over again, but gets about 4 yards.
Or even prior to that, electric football.
Electric football, yeah.
Yeah, where
It kind of did look like an electric football play.
I mean,
like
it really
that.
does. It's about that fast. Second and 6.
That's a 4-yard gain. Is
I
whatever
always
it is.
hated the
Nigel
electric-
Wright says doesn't matter what it looks like. Yeah,
As
4
long as
yards.
their arms didn't hook together and they done square dancing on the electric football. That was horrible.
Handoff goes around toward the outside.
He gets nothing.
Not a lot there for CJ. Looking for the running back there. It looks like it was number 1, Ethan Stacy, taking that carry.
And that was Nick Rings on the tackle for Badin, the senior defensive lineman, 6 foot, 260. 3rd and 6, Joel. Yep.
3rd and 6.
I'll tell you, if they throw the ball, they're going to fool Badin. I'll tell you, look at the linemen on CJ. They're big dudes. You can see why they like to run.
Fake handoff. Keeper for the quarterback. He's going to try to scramble. Going to go back around to the other side. Going to try to roll left. Is he going to have enough yardage? It's going to be somewhat close. I think it's going to be about 3 yards short by the time he gets knocked out of bounds.
Great effort.
Yes, great effort by the defense of Drew Enninger to knock the quarterback, Isaac Sullivan, out of bounds, shy of the first down. And CJ, I would imagine, might punt. There is a flag down.
I thought there might be a block in the back there on that play. I just was wondering if they were going to call it.
Now, Dan, normally you would decline a penalty and force a 4th down punt, but in this case, given CJ's unwillingness to throw the football, maybe you walk him back the 10 yards for the field
Holding.
position.
Okay, so it wasn't a – there was an opportunity for CJ. Yeah, I agree with you about what you said there. With CJ reluctant to throw the ball, you're saying it's a lot harder for them to get 10 yards on this play when everyone knows they're going to try and run the ball, right?
That's it.
So it's a field position game. 3rd and 15
This
here.
is a field position decision made by
And
Coach Shorty.
they're definitely not in a passing formation. Oh, and it was a little inside shuffle pass.
Not much there.
And it was dropped.
Does Badin have the ball? There's a beanbag on the field.
Well, they're saying
The referee threw his orange beanbag.
he
threw that for a change of
he
possession.
threw it forward, though, so it's technically a pass.
Looks like they are going to call him down.
Right. And the clock stopped, so I don't know.
Incomplete pass.
Yeah, it is an incomplete
It
pass.
was a shovel pass, Dan. So ball
Yep.
hits the ground. It's an incompletion. And it's 4th down and 15.
All right, this is just an interesting ball game. It's going by quickly, and it's just not your wild shootout spread game.
High snap on the punt.
Great.
Almost blocked, but not
Nice
quite.
effort.
Aiden Brown's going to retrieve this at the 43-yard line. going to try to cut this outside. He's across midfield. Dances the way down the sideline.
What a
Still on
run!
his feet.
He's still going!
Brown all the way
He's
to
going
the
to
end zone.
score!
57-yard punt return.
Wow.
I cannot believe he stayed inbound.
Well, you should see Chaminade's coach on the sidelines.
He just threw a clipboard.
He's livid. And honestly, I thought he did go out of bounds. I had a good view of it, Joel. I thought he stepped out right around the 37, right where the head coach was. So I definitely justify his anger here.
It was close. We're going to obviously if we could show you a replay. I was watching the feed on the monitor here, and it looked
Did
like
the monitor have the score in the way so we couldn't see it?
It looked like he stayed in from
really?
what I was seeing. So I want to kind of look back and see. But
we'll check it.
Inbounds is certainly the call, and so Badin's going to have another special teams touchdown. They've had a lot of those this
Brown
year.
is electric, I'll tell you.
The extra point is up and missed.
He missed it?
And
that's
so
a huge miss.
6-3, the Badin Rams have the lead after the Aiden Brown punt return.
Aiden Brown, Badin's #1 receiver, 8 touchdowns. He transferred from
Ross,
yes. Badin got him last year. They had him for the first
5 games.
5 games, and then they missed him. And he's back. He's had a full season, and he's quickly escalated the #1 receiver. Great season so far for Brown.
He almost single-handedly won the DeSales game last year.
Wow.
So definitely a weapon. Yordi and company missed him in the playoffs last year. They would have loved to have had him.
I mean, when you look at the passing statistics for Badin, Aiden Brown on the season, 32 receptions, 486 yards, 15 yards a reception with 8 touchdowns. The closest other receivers to have touchdowns for Badin, Carson Cheek and Buckle, with 2 each. So Brown is definitely the main #1 WR for the Badin Rams. And he ran that punt return back like he was a wide receiver in the open field.
Great little tiptoe jaunt down the sideline. I'm sure Chris Voigt's going to clip that and put that out on Butler County High School Sports Report Twitter account this week. Aiden Brown takes the lead for Badin. They've had a lot of special teams touchdowns this year.
Short kick.
And it looks like 24 is going to be running this back. That's Colin Cadle for the Eagles. And so it's going to be 1st down and 10, CJ.
Badin on a tackle for 38. And we have no 38 on Badin's roster.
Bummer. Everyone's talking about
the unknown 38.
The unknown mystery man.
He threw him
38.
down like a sack of potatoes, but we don't know his name. Well, we'll just say 38 with a great play there for Badin. Let's see how the Eagles respond here.
Probably with a few runs.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, it's a big extra point miss.
That
I
is.
mean, they're 3
Keeps it a
points.
3-point margin.
Yes, they can't get the touchdown. They don't need it.
Ball's at the 25-yard line. Man goes in motion. That's going to be the toss sweep.
He's got some room. He's flying.
Big
cut
gain.
back.
Finally wrapped up and tackled. That's the running back. Aiden Lowry for CJ. I think he's led the team in carries today, and he's been very, very impressive.
25-yard run there. And it looks to me like CJ is getting most of the bulk of the yards lately on the outside, the jet sweep, the tosses, so they're trying to stay away from the interior of the Badin line, who's kind of cheating.
Defense has kind of made the adjustment.
Yeah, they're cheating towards the middle.
Right.
Sure, you're right.
1st and 10, Chaminade-Julienne. And handoff goes around the outside. That's #1, Ethan Stacy. Stacy's going to get a nice gain of about 5 yards.
And that was Eli Little on the tackle for Badin. And I'll tell you, another play where they ran wide by the tackle. It's definitely more effective for CJ. They're finding something here on this drive.
Playing the shell game with the Badin defense here.
Yeah, they're not going off the guards in the center. They're running towards the tackles, and it seems to be more effective on this drive. Down to 6:30 to go here in the first half.
Handoff goes around the outside.
Running
That's
wide
number
again.
4, Malachi Maddox-Ringer.
Yeah, and that was Nate Ostendorf on the tackle. And
sorry, Malachi. There's 2 number 4s, and they're both Malachi Ringer.
Wow, that's how good he is.
On the roster. One's Malachi Ringer, one's Malachi Maddox-Ringer, but I'm guessing it's the same guy.
He's so good they named him twice. He's Duran Duran. All right, we have 3rd and 5 coming up. And right where they're at, I would say we might have 2 runs here to try and get it.
We'll see if they'd be aggressive enough to go for it.
There's the jet.
Fake handoff, and it's going to go around the outside. That's Stacy.
Boom, and he got the
Stacy
first
is hit
down.
and walloped. It is a first down. Looks like Badin, number 11 on the tackle.
That'd be Luke Campbell, Joel.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, everything's wide for CJ that's effective in his drive. I'll tell you, and what they're going to do is by doing that, they're going to soften up the middle. You'll see him hit some middle ones. It's really great to see an effective running game like this. You just don't see it all the time.
Gotta love the running game. Toss sweep to the outside.
He's got some juice. There he goes. Another first down.
That's Aiden Lowry again.
Lowry's
been awesome tonight, Dan.
He's the speed merchant. Looking at his stats, you're going to love this one.
All right.
He's averaging 10.7 yards a carry.
Wow.
And he got 10 on that play. So he's running to his average.
I think he might have overtaken the fullback, Nigel Wright,
Oh,
in terms of leading rushing for CJ for the game. Wright, of course, had that big 50-yard stumble and bumble. I think Lowry's probably past him by now. Dead ball and a false start on the Eagles.
And once again, you saw the play there as it was occurring. It was another pitch, and they were running it wide again. I think they found something here.
They definitely know what they want to try to do here, Dan. Now we'll see what Badin can do to try to match that.
Yeah, I'm going to see how Badin lines up, if they're going to crowd or they're going to shift more towards the outside, put more men towards the tackle. Now Badin has got 5 across the front, six up in the front.
First and 15. Dare them to throw the ball. Stacy's going to sweep. Instead, this is handoff up the middle.
And absolutely
the
nothing.
Inside trap. That's Nigel Wright, and not a lot of room there for Wright.
Back in the day when I played CYO football for St. Anne and Hamilton, I played linebacker. We ran 5-4s and 6-3s, and Badin ran a 5-4 defense there. It's been a long time since I've seen that.
5-4. Well,
I'd say 5-4 ready break or 6-3 ready break.
That basically is when you doubt that they're going to throw the ball against you.
And that's what they're running.
That's it. 2nd and 14 for the Eagles. Clock running. We're down below 4.5 left to go in the second quarter.
Badin's got 6 up front, so they're doing a 6-3. They got one guy.
Got a wide receiver out now, Dan.
Yeah, they do have a wide receiver.
And we'll see if they throw it. A lob pass complete.
Beautiful.
The first passing play called by CJ. The ball pops out at the end.
And Badin got it.
The referee is going to talk to each other. The back judge comes in. He's going to point down to the ground, says he's down by contact.
Ooh.
CJ's going to keep the ball. Malachi Ringer on the catch.
Badin's ball.
But now
It
they're
was
talking
Badin's
about
ball.
it. Now they're giving it to Badin.
I saw it all along.
The back judge came in and pointed at the ground. And Badin is going to catch another favorable break here. As the ball popped out right at the end of that pass play, back judge looked like he was pretty emphatic that the ball, he was pointing to the ground like he was down by contact.
Now, Joel, you know,
the other referees must have gotten together and talked about different angles.
Whose call is that on that side of the field?
What the call is you're supposed to get together with the different angles and talk about
But was it
what
the back
you saw.
judge? That was his primary area on the field?
The back judge had his own opinion, certainly, but
yeah,
the other officials came in there and talked him out of it.
There you go.
So a promising drive for CJ is going to end just outside the red zone, and Badin is going to take over. And CJ's coaching staff has got to be saying, you have to be kidding me. Coach Earl White has got to be like, they don't need help.
No.
They're 8-0.
Yeah.
They don't need help.
I'm curious to see how many points Chaminade has scored on the season with this running game. If Badin's defense is making the drives longer, is Chaminade popping 50 and 60-yard runs all year because they're such a run-dominated team?
They've scored 48 and 56 in their last 2 games.
Well,
against Fenwick and Carroll.
Okay, well, there you go.
They've been terrorizing teams with this power running game.
But Badin's hanging with them.
Looks like the Badin Rams weren't quite organized there, and so Yordy's going to take a timeout. Reminder, at halftime, we're going to have our world-famous halftime show where we're talking about all kinds of playoff points. And
The world of
about.
Hamilton-Lindenwald, that world.
That world. It's been a good night for the Ross Rams, that's for sure. They're up 28-0 right now in Monroe.
There you go.
Over at the Hornets' Nest. That game has been no contest. Ross taking out – it's been a frustrating season for the Ross Rams, and they're definitely taking out some frustration
Hamilton
tonight.
Big Blue leading. Sycamore Aviators 10-zip.
Yep.
And other scores.
Looks like Madison's up over Carlisle right now.
Good for Madison.
We saw Madison last week with a 42-0 loss to Waynesville. Obviously, the Mohawks, the schedule gets easier with Carlisle and Oakwood to finish up the year.
They played a Murderer's Row previous to that. That's for sure.
Murderer's Row is done.
All right.
First down and 10 for Badin. Looking to stretch this lead out before the half. 3 receivers to the top of your screen. And Ritzy is going to go ahead and take the snap. Handoff up the middle. That's Grayson. Grayson's going to burn the CJ defense for a first down, and a flag comes in really late. I didn't see a face mask down. That's kind of the area you expect to see it right there at the end of the run.
I didn't see it either.
Unless they're calling somebody for lowering the helmet. Face mask, Chaminade-Julienne.
It's going to push it all the way up to the 39 plus 15.
I think it might only. Is there only a 5-yard face mask also? Because he did not signal personal foul.
Okay.
The NFL level, they took away the 5-yard face mask a while ago. All face masks are 15 yards. There is an injured Ram on the play.
All right.
So trainer's going to take care of that. That'll give us a chance to look at the Division III standings. Division III Region 12, you see the Badin Rams #1 with a very sizable lead over Tippecanoe there at 2. 33 points tonight. If Badin can knock off Chaminade-Julienne, that's going to add the biggest point haul of the night.
I would think that would guarantee maybe a first and second clinched playoff. Well, I know they clinched.
Badin has clinched a playoff berth, but they have not technically even clinched a home game yet.
Okay, well.
It's mathematically possible for them to start on the road still, which.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. A win over CJ would take that mathematical possibility out of play.
There's Chaminade down there at number 6.
CJ is at number 6 right now. Now, if you look at the week 9, they're playing Badin tonight, 44.5 second-level points. What do you think that would do to catapult them up the board?
They might shoot to 3rd or 2nd.
2nd?
Yeah.
And they've got Alter on the heels of that next week. Alter with 27 second-level points. And Alter's playing Fenwick tonight. That could be worth even more. Alter could be worth 32 next week. So looking through the possibilities here, Monroe is down at 16, and they are getting hammered by Ross right now, as we were mentioning. Monroe, Chris Vo was asking me before the game tonight, does Monroe probably needs to win this to get in the playoffs, don't they? And I said, not necessarily.
The teams in Backham can lose, and they can lose,
exactly.
Right?
If you look at Carroll at 17.
Right.
They got McNick and Fenwick. They will not be favored to win either of those games.
Right.
Look at Tecumseh. They've got Urbana and Plain City Jonathan Alder, both worth 29 second-level points. They will not be favored to win either of those games. Thurgood Marshall is 19th. They're playing Ponitz Tech this weekend.
No points.
No points. And then Trotwood Madison, 34 points, but they will not be favored to win that game. Look at Franklin. They're playing Edgewood right now. Edgewood has a slight lead in that game. Monroe would really love for Edgewood to knock off Franklin tonight and not get Franklin any closer to them than needs to be.
Right.
But there's not a lot of firepower behind Monroe. So Monroe could lose to Ross and could lose to Edgewood and still sneak in as a 16 seed. It could absolutely happen. And if you look there at the Week 5 opponent that Monroe took and beat, Monroe played Washington Courthouse.
Right.
5.5 second-level points tonight if Washington Courthouse can win. They're playing a 1-7 Chillicothe Cavaliers team in the Frontier Athletic Conference tonight. That's 5.5 points that Monroe probably is going to be able to bank.
Well, the Cavaliers play a Cavalier game. I had to
Chillicothe used to be really, really strong, but they have not been. They have not been in recent memory.
The injured Badin Ram, is that 7 or 1? Okay, thank you.
Well, one is Aiden Brown.
That's
not an injury. Neither one of them. It's 7 is Zach Yorty. So neither one of them is an injury that Badin could afford to have.
He's up and walking, maybe.
And that does indeed look like Aiden Brown.
As they say back in the dinosaur days, maybe he got his bell rung.
Kind of limping a little bit. My dad, I know, is pointing to his knee a little bit. Talking, trying to give us a little hand signals to what he thought it might have been.
So he might have got banged in the knee.
Bruised
knee. Knowing Brown, he'll be back there in the next series.
Tough kid.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely a tough kid. All right, Badin's going to continue the drive now. 4:08 remaining, and the clock runs. We'll be under 4 minutes here by the end of this play. Ritzy and company looks over to the sideline.
I just have a sneaky feeling Badin's going to try and hit a long pass here. They haven't really thrown the ball deep down the field all day.
They have not. Handoff instead to Grayson up the middle. And Grayson is going to pop it for about 4 yards. Maybe 5. Generous spot there for the official at the end of the play. 2nd down and 5 for the Rams. 3.5 left to go in the second quarter of play.
Keegan Fowler on the tackle along with Michon Stevens for Chaminade.
Again, Badin's offense looks over at the sideline. The Rams are 8-0 this season on a 36-game regular season winning streak. Handoff to Grayson up the middle.
Grayson's flying.
Across the 40, across the 35-yard line. 1st and 10 Rams.
Aiden Lowry, the tackle for Chaminade. Badin is definitely seeing something on these straight pops up the middle. It's working for him, so why throw the ball when you have this going?
Dan, do you know the last team to beat Badin in the regular season?
Ooh,
Off
okay.
the top of your head. Think about that one as they get ready to run a 1st and 10 play.
Yeah, I will. All right. I have a hunch.
Handoff to Grayson. Grayson is wrapped up, spun, and he's going to be wrapped up in the backfield by Benjamin Lakes.
Great play by Lakes, great penetration. I'm going to say the last team to beat Badin is Chaminade.
It is, and this was 4 years ago.
Wow.
4 years ago here at Glass Stadium. This is the site of the last Badin regular season loss.
You happen to know that score? I'm curious.
I do happen to know that score.
Thanks to Joe Idle.
Joe Idle, yes. It was a 17-3
17-3, wow. Timeout for Badin here.
Timeout for Chaminade-Julienne.
Oh, okay, great. 2:22 here in the first half. What do you think of this? Badin up 6-3. Unfortunate extra point missed. I didn't even really look at the extra point. Did he just kick it wide? Bad snap? Do you remember what happened?
It absolutely must have been wide.
Kick.
The referees underneath the goalpost did not signal one way or the other.
Okay.
It's challenging to see. If you watch the games on television, the NFL games, whatever, they've got that secondary camera that's behind the goalpost. Makes it a lot easier to see kicks.
I love that view.
A lot harder to do that from the 50-yard camera angle.
Yeah.
Here's a score Badin Rams fans will like. Columbus St. Francis de Sales is up 35-0 right now over the Northwest Knights in the second quarter of that game. Northwest is a Division II opponent. They are a terrible Division II opponent, but they are a Division II opponent. And so it'll be 6 secondary points for the Badin Rams.
And DeSales is level 2 also, right?
They are Division II.
Yeah, Badin really played a killer outside GCL schedule this year, Greater Co-Ed.
Hamilton has
yes.
proven to be a wonderful victory for Badin.
Yeah, Badin,
they have given the
18
Rams
to zip.
a lot more points than they ever thought they would get from them.
Wow, Hamilton has played great ball this year.
So here we go, Rams, 2nd down and 12. 2:22 remaining. After the Chaminade-Julienne timeout, Ritzy's going to fake this. He's going to throw it. Now he's going to scramble and throws it long toward the end zone.
Oh!
And just outside the outstretched arms of his receiver. 3 receivers back there at the end of that play.
You could see Ritzy's arm in full effect there, throwing it on the run 43 yards down the field in the back of the end zone. I mean, that's quite a cannon. I thought he could have ran it there, honestly, but, boy, he just missed him. I mean, half a yard.
Didn't miss by much. We're going to have a 3rd down coming up. 3rd and 12 for the Rams, but they may have 2 downs to get this as well.
Seems like they've been in that limbo zone between the 30 and the 40 all night here.
Badin's been living in this field position. A lot of good special teams plays have been giving them the ball here in this field position.
Possession clock, it's down to 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
And possibly a false start. No, it's not called. Instead, it's going to be a catch outside a juke move and a first down.
Critical conversion
Connor
for
Wright
Badin.
standing in for Aiden Brown. I kind of thought that was a false start on some of the left side of the line there. I thought the ball was a little delayed in getting snapped there.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Receivers all were looking at the play clock going 2-1 and then got their jump. The ball kind of came trickling a hair after that, but Yordi will not complain about that. 1st and 10 for the Rams.
Down to 1:48 to go here in the half. Huge conversion by Badin. Huge. They're taking their time. Clock is down to 10 seconds on the snap clock.
And we're down to about 1:35 left to go on the game clock. As Ritzy's going to pump fake. He's looking end zone, doesn't like it, tucks
He
it
can
and runs.
run all day.
Toward the sideline,
Nice
stays
tackle.
inbounds. Going to keep the clock running as the Rams get inside the red zone. Badin in no hurry with 1:20 left to go. Moving at a normal pace, not fast, but
Joel, look at the American flag down there in the end zone, Joel, how it's just blustery. I'm wondering if maybe that wind down there affected the
catch by Buckle and wrapped up tackle by Dorian Carter Jr.
Badin was in a hurry up there, caught me.
We're below a minute left to go. There you can see the flag now in the zoom out camera lens that you're talking about. Kind of crosswind going into the face of the players, and it looks like we have a timeout taken. And we'll see if this is indeed Badin taking this timeout, and it is. Should be a third down coming up for the Rams.
Thanks for catching that flag for me, Neil. I'm just wondering if that's going to affect the field goal coming up. It might even affect the extra point.
With the decision to it or not, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Definitely the wind blowing from the right side of your screen, kind of diagonally across toward the left side of your screen.
So it's one of those where if you're a NFL kicker or a good college kicker, you kick it right at the left upright, and the wind blows it 3 yards.
Yeah, let the wind blow it, yeah.
Blows it right over.
Absolutely. I kind of wish New Miami would give us some tweets, you know?
Yeah.
Give us a score, let us know how you're doing, shall we?
We called a game there. We love the place.
They're playing St. Bernard Elmwood Place.
Yeah, one of the last grass fields in the Butler County area. Is there any other ones besides New Miami?
There's not much left. I mean, Madison got their turf field. Fenwick just got their turf field.
That's a good trivia question. 3rd 9 for Badin. Shotgun by Ritzy.
Ritzy's going to try to scramble, throws it short instead. He can get out of bounds.
And he got the first down, too.
I think he's going to be a hair short there, Dan.
He's short?
Just short. Looks like it's going to be James Brink getting more playing time tonight. And we'll see what Yordi wants to do on the 15-yard line with that stiff wind blowing on a 4th down and 1.
Yordi says no field goal here. I'm telling you. 4th and 1. It looks more like 2 the way the yard markers are set over there. A long one, we'll call it. Badin's, watch out for the quarterback run here.
And a whistle blows. All with Coach Yordi.
Guess the call.
What the heck?
We love the fantastic finishes on Monday Night Football.
So what do you think if you are Coach Yordi? Is this a run? Is this a short pass? What do you like?
Well, first of all, I don't like it when teams crowd and obviously sell the fact that they're going to run it on 4th and 1. I like them to be spread so the run pass options available. You can fake up the middle, run the quarterback around the end, have your wide receivers out there block. I'm thinking you're going to see him in the shotgun. Now, I'm not a fan of that because that means you got to run 3 yards just to get to the original line of scrimmage before you get the yard. So I'd put the quarterback behind the center, and I don't know. I think they'll spread out and still run the ball with the quarterback. That's my guess. What do you think, Joel?
Well, I still love what they did with Fenwick.
Okay.
Where you have the Yordi-Grayson dual backfield, but they're not going to do that formationally as Yordi is the running back behind.
Well, they're spread out.
This should be a handoff up the middle, I would think. They're all looking over at the coach, so maybe the coach is looking even defensively, seeing what CJ is doing.
Naked bootleg.
This is going to be a straight handoff to Yordi. He has one timeout left. Badin better have a second play called.
That was Yordi. Go to the coach's son, boy. He plays hard. Clock is running. Yes, sir.
30 seconds.
All right, here we go.
Grayson now in as the running back. Hand off to Grayson. He's going to try to bounce it outside. If he gets out of bounds at least.
Touchdown.
He's going to dive for the pylon.
He hit the pylon,
What's
Joel.
the referee going to say about this one?
Oh, it's a touchdown.
And it looks like they are going to give Grayson the 5-yard touchdown.
Nice. This is a nice press box, but there are a lot of
couple of beams there to have to look
lots of
around.
Beams. Hard to look around the beam.
Don't worry, Dad. I saw the pylon go down on the screen. You got it. You had to lean and tilt the camera to make sure he got it.
Nice grab there, Neil.
Compliments to Neil Sackenheim, our cameraman tonight. We missed him last week when he was camping.
Let's see if the wind is a factor on the extra point. I doubt it. It is blowing pretty vigorously, though.
Warner is lining up. Kick is up, and this kick is good. So the Badin Rams with a 13-3 lead over Chaminade-Julienne, capping off a wonderful drive. Dan, what do you think about that clock management?
Well, that's our big thing, Joel. I mean, you learned your clock management playing Madden.
Oh, yeah.
I learned it watching football. You know, I love good clock management, and Badin just left 18 seconds on the clock. You can't do much better than that. And I thought it was pretty gutsy trying to run the ball the last 2 times. They had, what, 1 timeout, though, didn't they?
Just 1 timeout was all they had.
Okay, so it worked. That's all you can say.
What more do you need, right?
What more do you need?
What adjustments do you expect from CJ in the second half?
Let's see. Who gets the ball first? That's the question. I'm trying to think.
I believe CJ had the ball to start the game.
Okay.
So Badin's offense should have the ball right back on the field to start the third quarter.
Interesting. Well, I think they did discover running the ball wide with sweeps, jet sweeps, anything outside the tackles, pitch plays. I mean, that was a beautiful drive they had till that freak fumble there down by the 20. Think about just how that flip-flopped the game, you know? I mean, Badin recovers, marches down, and scores. I would not abandon the running game at all if I was CJ, but the third quarter is a must. They have to pretty much shut out Badin and get a touchdown. Short kick.
Looks like the up man's going to return, or the back man 24 again on the return.
He is.
Cadle.
He almost broke it.
So CJ is not going to have a tremendous field position here with only 13 seconds to work.
1 man away from breaking it there. Shoestring tackle. They still say shoestring tackle. I think they do. I'd love a guy to come up with a shoestring in his hand, right?
That's it. That's it.
13 seconds to go. Let's see the formation. It looks like they might even take a knee.
It'd be a nice, safe move.
That's just a
carry for Stacy. Stacy's going to try to wrap around. Instead, he is wrapped up there by
Badin closes the half with an emphatic slam tackle. Halftime, Joel.
Halftime at Glass Stadium. And Badin hoping to break the glass. They've got a 13-3 lead at the half. Dan, how have they done it?
Well, I think it's just been more talent by Badin. CJ definitely shows their mettle running the ball. Big, strong guards, tackles, centers, but Badin with their more diversified offense seems to have, well, Badin's defense, you know, their defense is underrated. I would say compared to last year's team, I'd say this year Badin is much more defensively stout compared to last year's Badin team, which I thought could have went all the way. I loved the team last year. Was disappointed when they only got to the Final Four and lost, and I was looking for the Badin-Chardon repeat like we had.
And both Badin and Chardon got upset in
the semifinals.
In the regional final.
Yes.
State Elite 8.
Yes.
Was where they both bowed out.
So, you know, this year I think Badin's a little more run-dominated, which is fine if you ask me. I like that better because their defense always shows up, and it showed up in the first half. So I'd say Badin's defense containing Chaminade, like I said early, you know, we knew Chaminade was going to come out and run the ball, pound the ball, and they've had some effective drives, but the first drive, holding them to a field goal inside the 10-yard line, that set the tone for the whole half.
And Nigel Wright had a 50-yard running back, fullback, little dive up the middle. It kind of faked out Badin's defense. They fooled him once, and that resulted in the 3 points. Badin has not bought into that. They've been stretching out the drives and trying to force the ball into the hands of Aiden Lowry instead.
Lowry's the speed merchant.
He's been getting around to the outside. CJ's moved the ball some.
Right.
But Badin's defense has held them where they've needed to. Been fortunate with a nice punt return where Aiden Brown was able to stay in bounds.
Contrary to what some people think.
A fortunate ruling on the field between a possible fumble or not on the one pass play CJ called. It was ruled a fumble. Badin got the ball there. And so the Badin Rams have a 13-3 lead over CJ at the half.
Now, what have you been waiting for all night long? It's Joel Sackenheim, your high school guru. He's going to give you first level, second level. He's going to give you level points that you didn't even know existed. All right, so Joel is ready.
Let's
Week
go
9.
to the slideshow and look. Look at that
Here we
beautiful
go.
stadium. That was when they first built it, before they even put the stands in, of glass stadium. You can see
glass.
the background. It's
That's
amazing.
back when it was just kind of a glass replica. Here we go.
That's it. Halftime in Blue Ash.
Yes.
The Hamilton Big Blue with a 10-0 lead over Sycamore. RV Crouch's team looking to go 7-2.
What a difference in coaching for Hamilton. It's made all the difference.
And with Badin beating them in week 1, yet another 6.5 second-level points go to the Rams if Hamilton holds on and wins this game on the road against Sycamore. Hamilton bringing out the defense again against the Aviators. We've not seen a score yet from Fairfield and Middletown, but hold your thoughts on Fairfield because I've got some really interesting scenario to talk to you about when we get to the big board.
I have to ask you, though, what is a MIDI, Middletown MIDI? Is it just a short of their name? Is it because they're midway between Dayton and Cincinnati? What is a MIDI?
There's like a wizard-like drawing in the Wade E. Miller gym where they play basketball. It's kind of like it almost looks like, what's the cereal that has the wizard on it with the purple robes?
King Vitamin?
Was it King Vitamin?
I think so, yeah. No, that was a king. Shoot. Who
you
is
know what
the
I'm
wizard?
talking about, though.
I know the wizard cereal. It's been a while.
It's been a bit, but the logo kind of looked like that on the painting on the wall.
Well, I just think the MIDI nickname is pretty unimaginative. It's like the city of 7 Mile. You're 7 miles from Hamilton. Can you think of a name besides 7 Mile?
7 Mile. There you go.
That's just not. All right, no imagination. Moving on.
Mason is playing Lakota West. Nobody's tweeting from these games at this point in time. I've seen nothing, so we'll see what there is to say about these. We have Oak Hills and Lakota East. Lakota East, sorry about that, folks. Lakota East has a 7-0 lead early on in that game. This might throw the doomsday scenario out of whack unless Oak Hills can come back and win this thing. If Lakota East wants a playoff spot, this is a great opportunity if they can win this game over the Highlanders, who just knocked off Fairfield recently. The Edgewood Cougars, early, still in the first quarter, scored 28 points against Franklin.
That's pretty impressive.
Very impressive.
Hopefully they did update the quarter there and they weren't negligent.
It's a first quarter score.
That's beautiful.
So 28-13 Edgewood. Edgewood right now at 17th in Division II, Region 8. They are the first team out of the playoffs. This win tonight, if they can get it, might put them into the playoffs. The Ross Rams are 19th in that region, looking to also get into the playoffs. They are pouring it on the Monroe Hornets, 28-0 in the second quarter, taking out all of their frustrations over a very, very challenging season they've had this year.
So if your name is Rams and you're in Butler County, you're having a good night. That's for sure.
So far, so good. Mount Healthy is playing Talawanda tonight, third straight home game for Andy Stuckert. If not seen a score from that game, Talawanda should have their hands full, though. Mount Healthy is 6-2 coming into that game. Carlisle at Madison, the Mohawks. We saw them against Waynesville last week, lose 42-0. They're getting Quentin Rodas, their running back, hopefully next week against Oakwood. This would be a real nice gutty win if they can get this at Brandenburg Field. They're playing Carlisle tonight.
Wow.
Carlisle only 2-6. This is a winnable game for Madison, even if you are playing shorthanded. Madison is currently 9th right now in Division 5, Region 20.
And 2 Native American schools,
Mohawks
old school.
and Indians,
yeah,
that's right.
You don't see that every day.
And, of course, we've not seen a score from New Miami and St. Bernard Elmwood Place, but the Titans are going to be heavily favored as a 7-1 opponent for New Miami.
Is that New Miami's logo, or did they rip off Minnesota there and just change the hat?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Everybody's got some high school somewhere that's just changed the color scheme of an NFL logo. New Miami is no different than that.
Okay.
1-7. The one win is a forfeit win over Riverview East Academy, who only played 4 games and has dropped out at this point in time. Alter Knights had a blocked punt touchdown.
Wow.
At Yeager Field, not Cruisling anymore. The new field has been dedicated with a new name, with field turf there at Fenwick, and Alter with a 7-0 lead early on in that game.
Gotcha.
We'll try to keep you updated there. Badin has beaten both of these teams this year, so they would get 5.5 points 5 points from whoever happens to win this game. Does not matter.
Right.
For CJ, they've not played Alter yet. So if Fenwick wins, CJ has beaten Fenwick. They get 5 points now. If Fenwick loses, then CJ could beat Alter next week and get those same 5 points next week. Do you want your points now, or do you want your points later? That CJ Alter game should be all kinds of fun next week. McNicholas having absolutely no problems. Team Rocket blasting off again, playing the Carroll Patriots. 28-0
Love the
early on in
logo.
the first quarter.
Love the logo for McNick.
Yes, well, the Patriots, it's always interesting having a Catholic school named the Patriots. They violates the separation of church and state. Yes. A couple wins for Carroll. There's some points for McNicholas in Division 4.
How about maybe making the Patriot look more like Jesus Christ?
There
what do
you
think?
go. I like that.
That way you got it all, don't you?
I like that. That's good.
Yeah, there you go.
Here's a good score for Badin fans. DeSales, the Stallions, up in Columbus, is playing the Northwest Knights tonight. Northwest now has only 3 teams with them in their conference. They're in that Southwest Ohio Conference that only is Northwest, Talawanda, Harrison, and Mount Healthy. So Northwest had to schedule DeSales, and it's not going well for Northwest. Wow. That's going to be 6 second-level points for Badin tonight when that game goes into the running clock there in the second half up in Columbus.
We love the running clock.
Oh, yes.
All right.
Purcell Marion had the earliest touchdown this game. Nobody tweeted anything else since then. We don't even know if they made the extra point or not.
It's nice to see Roger Bacon going back to their GCL roots, playing Purcell Marion.
Well, Purcell Marion and Roger Bacon actually both left the GCL together.
Oh, that's right.
To the Miami Valley Conference. So this is still a conference game.
That's true.
Purcell Marion may be the favorite in that conference right now because Roger Bacon was surprisingly upset last week by CHCA. I did not see that score coming. This is not a score Badin wants to see. They would love to see Roger Bacon win this game because Badin played Roger Bacon this year and did not play Purcell Marion. So 4.5 points for Badin if Roger Bacon comes back and wins this one. That was a very early touchdown. Again, there may have been an extra point. Nobody even tweeted that, so I have no idea.
All right. Come on, Twitter or X. Let's go.
That's it. That's it. Withrow is playing Big Red Hughes tonight. This is not going to be an easy game for Hughes. Badin could get 6 points from Hughes, but who knows what will happen there. Withrow 7-1. That's not likely tonight. Here's a score that CJ fans tuning in will care about. CJ beat the Eastmore Academy, the Warriors, in Week 1. Eastmore Academy is on the road at Marion Franklin, and the Red Devils have a 14-7 lead in the second quarter in that game. So there's some points there for CJ.
Red Devils.
Eastmore Academy can come back and knock off Marion Franklin in the second half of that game. And then a game from last night, CJ beat Belmont early in the season. Belmont is one of the worst teams in high school football. They do have a win, but
how'd they get the win? We don't know.
Yeah, Belmont 1-7 on the season. The only team they beat was Ponitz Tech, who was 0-8.
Oh, well, there you go.
CJ beat Belmont 67-0 early this year. Belmont scores.
If CJ can get 67 zip just running the ball, that just must have been a slaughter.
Well,
I mean,
Belmont has scored 26 points all season.
Oh, my goodness.
20 of them were against Ponitz Tech in the one game that they won.
So they've scored a single tutty.
They have been shut out 6 of their 7 losses this season.
Okay.
Including 76-0 to Urbana, 67-0 to CJ, 28-0 to Columbus South. They lost 70-0 to Trotwood Madison, 48-0 to Mount Healthy, and now 52-0 to Dunbar.
Is that a Buffalo? Is that what their name is?
The Bison.
Okay, a Bison. Pretty much
so,
the same thing.
yeah, this is not giving CJ any second-level points pretty much all year long. Just the 5 points from the Ponitz Tech win, and that's it. So looking at the Division III standings here.
Here we go.
Badin is first right now. They can get 6 points from DeSales. They get 6.5 from Hamilton if they can hold on and win. And Edgewood is leading. They're with 5.5. Roger Bacon was trailing. They're with 4.5. I wouldn't expect much from Hughes tonight. You're going to get 5 either way from Fenwick or Alter. And if Carroll indeed loses to McNick, you won't get those 5 tonight, but you can get 26 of them next week, 26.5 next week. McNick will be worth 5.5 more next week when Badin plays them. CJ. 5 points there from Eastmore Academy if you can pull it off. I've already blued out the Belmont game because that's not going to happen. Franklin, so CJ beat Franklin, and they beat Edgewood. So CJ doesn't really have much of a rooting interest one way or the other in that game. Franklin will be worth 6 points if they win. Edgewood's worth 5.5 if they win. Fenwick, Carroll, again, those are games where CJ lost to McNick. So if McNick wins, that's not going to give him points. They won't get anything from Carroll then. But Fenwick, they can give him points tonight, or you can get the points from Alter next week, so to speak. Looking at Salina on the 5 line, they're playing Defiance tonight and have Wapakoneta next week. Salina, keep an eye on them as a team that could rise in these standings. Badin would love to see Trotwood Madison end up not 4 or 5. Okay. The teams that are in light green have already clinched a playoff spot, including Badin, including CJ. 7 teams out of 16 already into the field. Nobody.
And we don't have a Mount Healthy Owl score yet, but they're right there in the 7th spot.
They're playing Talawanda, and I would imagine if they beat Talawanda tonight, they also will have clinched
Yeah,
They have not clinched yet.
11 and a half points there.
Well,
I
the
see
reason
it.
Mount Healthy is not clinched yet is because they only play a 3-game conference schedule. There are so many opponents that they have beaten that could lose.
Is that why their divisor's 9.9?
Well, the reason the divisor's 9.9 is because of Belmont's 1 week where they had a bye.
Okay.
So
okay.
you have a 10 divisor if everybody on your schedule plays 10 games. But it
Gotcha.
gets shrunk by 0.1 with each bye that is thrown in there from opponent that you did
Okay.
not play. So that's what we're looking at Division 3. Let's look at Division 1 here. Milford has locked in a top 4 spot. They will clinch the #1 overall seed if they beat West Clermont and Turpin these next 2 weeks. Princeton hot on their tail at #2. They don't have the firepower to overcome Milford unless Milford loses. Princeton is playing Coleraine tonight. They're not worth any points.
And
then
Princeton
second
would
one
like
next
to
week.
play in Milford.
There
No,
you go. Well,
okay.
they won't play in Milford because they'll be on the opposite sides of the bracket.
I know.
There are 5 teams: St.
Yeah.
X, Moeller, Lakota West, Hamilton, and Elder. 5 of those teams fighting for 2 of the top 4 spots, which gives you the double home game.
Right.
Okay? Now, St. X is 3rd. Do not look for St. X to get one of those spots. They're playing Cleveland St. Ignatius tomorrow. They're only worth 6.5 points.
And how the mighty have fallen.
I know.
They were a
Ignatius only
dynasty.
has 1 win this year.
What is going on?
And then St. X is home against the Ocala, Florida Trinity Celtics.
That's your
That's
old
from the Diocese of Orlando. They're coming all the way up I-75.
Your old stomping grounds.
To play
Joel was
St.
down
How
there
much
in
is St.
Florida.
X paying them? But Trinity Ocala has only won 1 game so far this year, so they'll only be worth 4.5 points for St. X.
Trinity, 4.5.
So look at the teams below to hurdle St. Xavier,
Yes.
quite possibly. Lakota West and Hamilton play each other in Week 10.
Look at the points.
They're worth 39 points at this point in time. If
What?
both of them win tonight, they'll be worth 45.5.
I'm telling you right now, that's the WMOH game in Week 10. Should
It has to be.
It has to be.
It has to be.
That is a huge game. Look at the points, 39 for each.
Absolutely. And it'll be 45.5 if they both win tonight.
Oh, my goodness.
So, Lakota West Hamilton loser is not going to be in the top 4.
Okay.
Lakota West Hamilton winner might very well be in the top 4, especially if you get 1 loss from either Moeller or Elder. And Elder was down 21-0 to undefeated Indianapolis Bishop Chittard tonight.
And Moeller's playing St. Edwards
Tomorrow.
35 points.
Yes,
That's-
35 for
so
Moeller.
they're
If
obviously
they win
a heck of
tomorrow,
an opponent.
They're
Yes.
7-1.
Yes.
And then Bishop Chittard,
Yes.
8-0. They're worth 40 points for Elder tonight, but Elder's losing. So this is
Wow.
really shaping up really good for the winner of Lakota West or Hamilton to get a top 4 seed. Look down at the bottom here.
All right.
Fairfield,
Okay.
1 win, 16th. Lakota East, right behind them at 17th. Fairfield beat Lakota East. Lakota East's only win is over Coleraine this year. Look at Coleraine at 18th. Has not won a game yet. They're playing Princeton tonight. Coleraine is not likely to win that game.
No.
Colerane's Week 10 opponent is Fairfield.
Okay.
If Coleraine wins that game in Week 10, and Fairfield were to lose to Middletown tonight, and Lakota East were to lose to Oak Hills and Mason these next 2 weeks, then all 3 of those schools would finish with an identical 1-9 record. They'd all be in a 3-way
no.
tie for 16th place with 6.5 first-level points and 6.5 second-level points, having only beaten each other.
And Milford's going, we have to study 3 different teams' films. That's not fair.
I don't think Milford's all that terrified of a 1-9
Milford
opponent
says
coming in.
that we'll scrimmage anybody. Bring them on.
Bring
right?
them on. That's exactly right.
In Milford.
In Milford. That game would be in Milford. That's
Yes,
for
it
sure.
would.
It would. So I've been texting and tweeting with Joe Idle all
Yes.
week to figure out what is the tiebreaker. Because in theory, it would be head-to-head.
Right.
But it's 1-1 for the 3-way tie. They would have all, if this indeed coalesces in the doomsday scenario. Well, then you look at third-level points. Well, here's the thing. There are none. You'd only have
I think
one
it's
win over
the
one
team with the coolest uniform. I'd go with Fairfield, the Indians.
Schedule-wise, the 3 of them, all in the GMC, would have played 9 equivalent opponents.
No way.
So the only thing that is unique about their schedule is the Week 1 loss.
Okay.
Fairfield lost to Wayne.
Okay.
Wayne is 6-2. Lakota East lost to Centerville. Centerville is 7-1.
Okay.
Coleraine lost to LaSalle. LaSalle is 4-4. Here's
All
how
right.
this would go.
Would that kick Coleraine out of it?
Maybe. Here's
Okay.
the thing. The 16 seed in that scenario would go to whichever of those 3 schools lost to the strongest opponent in terms of number of wins.
All right.
So if Centerville stays ahead of Wayne, Lakota East would get that playoff spot.
All right.
Centerville and Wayne play each other in Week 10. Wayne is 1 game behind them. So if
Okay.
Wayne were to win that game, that would put Centerville and Wayne tied with the same record, which would then put Fairfield and Lakota East again in a tie. Colerain's opponent, LaSalle, would be lower, so Colerain would get kicked out. It would revert to a 2-team tiebreaker, and Fairfield would get the playoff spot.
And I guessed it with the uniforms. There you go.
So
and there'll be a test on that, fans.
Lakota East scored
Joel.
first tonight against Oak Hill, so maybe Lakota East screws this whole thing up by winning tonight and jumping Fairfield with 19.5 second-level points.
Wow.
Fairfield's got Middletown tonight for 19 second-level points, so we'll see what happens. Division 2.
Have you ever seen a more convoluted 16 seed situation?
It just
You've been covering this for many years, Joel.
This is the reason why 16 seeds should not get into the playoffs.
Well,
It's too
I
many
know,
teams.
and fans, we might have told you guys over the weeks our scenario that we like, but I said it. Joel agreed with me. We like the 12-team format.
12 is good.
You have 1 through 4 get the bye, and then 5 through 12 play, and the winners of that get seeded accordingly with the 1 through 4.
There we go.
That's what you want?
There you go.
I like
That's
it.
the way I'd do it.
I don't think losing records should get in the playoffs.
It's rough. It's real rough. 8 was pretty special. 'Cause
8
you had
was
to be, You had to
special.
be pretty darn good to get in.
You know,
You had to beat some
with
good
8, you had
opponents.
undefeated teams not getting in.
Yeah, but
Remember
that was a problem. We had 2
Yeah.
undefeated teams not get in. That
I
is
remember
a
that.
problem. But yes. Division 2. Take a look
Okay.
here, especially Butler County. We got Edgewood, Talawanda, and Ross. They are 17, 18, and 19. Edgewood leading Franklin right now. Ross really leading Monroe right now. Both of them are going to get some points. 10 for Edgewood, 11 for Monroe.
And we don't anticipate Talawanda beating Mount Healthy, do we?
We don't anticipate it. I don't want to assume it, but we don't anticipate it. Ross lost to Edgewood a couple weeks ago, so Edgewood would not only get 10 by this, but they get another 5.5 from Ross as well. Ross is not going to get anything from Northwest tonight. They're down 42-0 to the Sales.
All right.
And Ross right now not looking like they're going to get anything from Franklin. So Edgewood so far the beneficiary of the scores tonight. Looking ahead, because somebody's got to fall down for Edgewood to take that spot. Look at Turpin. They're on the 15 line. They've
Right.
got Anderson.
Ouch.
43.5 second-level points. You going to beat them? Probably
No.
not. They got Milford last week of the season. They're 8-0,
No.
okay? Turpin probably goes 0-2 in those last 2 games.
Right.
That opens up the spot for Edgewood. You look at Piqua at number 16. They've got Sydney tonight.
Ouch.
It would really go a long way if the Yellow Jackets could knock off Piqua. And they got Fairborn in Week 10. So if Edgewood and Ross would like to squeeze into the last 2 playoff spots, they would like to win these last couple games and then have Turpin and Piqua lose out. That's their best scenario to get into the playoffs.
There you go.
Looking at Division 4, Clinton Massey got a top 4 spot already. They got 200 second-level points already. That is
Wow.
more than anybody, even in Division 1.
That's getting it done.
Clinton Massey, look at the schedule they've beaten. They beat Waynesville, who's 7-1. They beat Tri-Valley, who's 6-2. They beat Mount Healthy, who's 6-2. Harrison's 6-2. Wilmington's 5-3. They've won some really, really good games against some good opponents.
Powerhouses.
They are ahead of everybody.
They got Batavia tonight, who's a good team.
Taft has just jumped ahead of Wyoming by beating Aiken last night. But Wyoming, if they beat Indian Hill tonight, and they've not lost a regular season since 2015, Wyoming should be back on the 2 line after all is said and done. Alter has Fenwick this weekend, 22.5 second-level points, and CJ next weekend. They could be in top 4 territory if Alter were to win out.
And Alder plays that murderous schedule, and they're always – I mean, didn't they win a couple games last year when they were a low seed?
Oh, yeah. They're
Yeah.
always dangerous.
They're
McNicholas
dangerous.
is at 8th right now.
Yep.
They've got Carroll tonight. They're having no trouble with them. They may rise a little bit if Indian Hill loses. McNick should be at least 7, maybe a
Okay.
little taller. Who knows? They help their chance against Badin next week. It's going to be a tough game, but if they win that game, they'll be a top 4. No doubt about that. Roger Bacon is at 12th. They're losing to Purcell Marion. Purcell Marion would be their last feather in their cap because Norwood's not going to give them a whole lot in Week 10. Look at Fenwick. Fenwick has won their first 4 games. They're now on a 4-game losing streak.
Ooh.
They've got Alter tonight and Carroll next week. That may not be enough if they lose to Alter tonight to get them in. So it's going to be tough. They have to climb a couple of teams. Division 5, we've got Valley View on the 1 line. Stellar. Waynesville on the 2 line. We saw them last week. That's a good football team.
Very good team.
Brookville's clinched a playoff spot. They're 3rd right now. We look down at the Madison Mohawks. They're in the 9 spot. They've got Carlisle, not worth a ton of points. Oakwood worth some, okay. But if Springfield Northeastern loses to Mechanicsburg and West Jefferson, Zane Trace is going to have their hands full in Week 10 with Paint Valley, the Bearcats. And we'll see what happens.
I'll tell you what, Madison, they can sneak in there and do some damage because they have played the best of the best this year.
They have, and they're going to get their running back back. They've not had their running back for
Yes.
any of those 4 losses to Brookville, Eaton, Valley View, and Waynesville.
Madison is a great story because, gosh, when I think of Madison, I think proverbial losers.
They
but
were
not now.
Well, they were the state semis a few years ago under Coach Poff. Then Poff
That's
was
right.
gone, and now he's back.
He's
so
back.
He's back with a vengeance. Games that Madison fans will care about tonight, Mechanicsburg and Springfield Northeastern, as well as they would love to see Roger Bacon knock off Purcell Marion on that 5 line if possible. Preble Shawnee has got Ansonia, but Madison has beaten Preble Shawnee, so they'll at least get something from it if the Arrows can knock off Ansonia. Division 6, Williamsburg. I think Versailles is actually the class of this division.
Okay.
But Versailles may still end up second because Williamsburg will go undefeated most likely. Versailles is still the team to beat. Paint Valley, West Liberty, Salem, tough opponents. And then look at Division 7 here. Marion Local on the 1 line. They've got St. Henry this weekend. Shouldn't be all that difficult to beat the Redskins. And then the matchup with Coldwater.
There you
2
go.
undefeated teams fighting for the Midwest Athletic Conference. It may be harder to win their conference than to win state. It might just be harder to win the Midwest Athletic Conference because Versailles has Coldwater followed by and Marion Local in the last 2 weeks. So it's like, what?
It's all right. We're getting
What?
ready. Well, after all that, we're ready for our second half kickoff.
Here we go. CJ's got the ball off on the tee, kicks it deep. It's going to be returned by Badin from the 13-yard line, breaking a couple tackles across the 44-yard line.
Has Aiden Brown.
And so Aiden Brown, it looks like it's Buckle.
Buckle,
Excuse
I'm
me.
sorry. I'm
That
sorry.
is Austin Buckle returning that for the Rams. And so Badin will start this drive. They've had the better of the field position all night, Dan.
They have, and they've taken advantage of it.
13-3 in a game like this, field position is really, really important.
I just have a feeling that you already took them in there and said, guys, let's get this ball and score. Because I'm telling you, you get up 20-3 here on a run-dominated team, it's hard to come back.
It makes CJ have to throw the ball. Pitch to
Exactly.
Grayson. Couple blocks, wrapped up and tackled by Joe Hudson of the Eagles.
4-yard gain.
Great camera work there by Neil Sagenheim. This has been fantastic. I mean, I'm seeing better detail on the screen than I am looking through the
I know.
press box
I'm
right
looking
now.
at it live, and you're looking at it on the screen. There you go.
2nd down and 6 for the Rams. 3 receivers to the top of your screen, and Brennan to the bottom. Not Brennan, actually looks like that's number 5, Rains. Brady Rains out there. A lot of receivers getting playing time for Badin tonight. Fake handoff. Ritzy's going to go ahead. Look like an RPO. Pass is complete. Looks like that's Buckle, and Buckle is going to have enough for a 1st down.
I'll tell you, Badin, it just seems like the pass is there all day. These quick little slants, how do you stop that? It's impressive, isn't it?
Well, especially when you can run the ball up the middle, you have to honor the run.
Right.
And that opens up the slant pattern over the top.
And you could tell there with the fake handoff, the linebacker kind of moved forward, and he slid right behind him where he was. It's a perfect play.
1st and 10 for the Rams. Down below 11 minutes left to go in the 3rd quarter of play. Handoff to Grayson up the middle. He is going to be shoestring tackle. There is a flag on the play. It looks like he was wrapped up by number 52, Michon Stevens.
Yeah,
but we'll see if we got a hold.
Yeah, I think that was Yordi on the carry, but you're right. It was definitely a hold.
And CJ is certainly going to back up the Rams.
Bain says, let's just throw the ball now. We'll see.
10 yards from the spot of the hold.
I'll tell you, you got to give Coach Yordi credit with his diversified offense.
They can do a lot of things.
They are so balanced. They're within 50 yards before this game of total yards rush to pass. Just 50-50.
1st and 20 for the Rams. We'll see how aggressive Coach Yordi wants to play this. They are across midfield. Staggered shotgun. Ritzy's going to pitch this ball to Yordi. And Yordi's going to be wrapped up in fumbles.
Fumbled
the
a
ball
ball.
pops loose. And CJ has it.
And CJ scores. What a big play. What a game changer.
Russell.
What?
Kaleon Russell from 51 yards for the Eagles.
That really has changed the tone of the game. A defensive touchdown Did you see what happened over there, Joel?
The
I didn't really see
the ball
it.
popped out. I did
Okay.
not see how. It must have been a hit on the ball of some sort.
Did you see who got the touchdown, Joel?
Yeah, Kayleon Russell, number 3.
Russell, number 3.
Fumble return TD. So Meliana Papalias.
Bangs it through.
Extra point is good. This was not what the Badin Rams expected coming out of halftime, getting the ball first down.
Well, it does a couple things. Number one, it keeps CJ and their rushing attack very much intact. No falling behind, forcing their hand, having them throw the ball. CJ is going to be right where they want to be. They're going to want to pound the ball, ground the ball. And, wow, what a play for CJ.
How about that? Go
ahead. You go first.
Halftime score from Roger Staubach Stadium. How about, nice to say that. Purcell Marion's gotten their stadium before Badin did. Wow.
Good for them.
20-14, Purcell Marion over Roger Bacon.
Wow.
That's a little surprising.
Was Edgewood up 28-zip? Because now
they were up 28-13.
Oh, it's now 28-20 at the half. Edgewood over Franklin.
Mount Healthy leading Talawanda 34-9. Just one Brave at halftime.
How can you win when you got one guy out
Help
there?
if you had 11. Middletown at Barnett's leading Fairfield 15-13 at the half. Fairfield also trying to ruin this doomsday scenario. Squib kick. Returned by the up man.
Brady Rains.
Wrapped up and tackled.
Great field position again for Badin, Joel.
Braden Lilly is going to be the one getting credit for the tackle there for that play. And it's a first down and 10 for Badin. And they have been at least at the 40-yard line all night long.
Yeah, I don't know if the short kickoffs are by intent because we have seen lots of good kicks this year, Joel, into the end zone. Lots of good kickers. But
well,
not
here's
tonight.
what I know about Badin's special teams unit.
Yes.
I know that Badin has 2 kickoff return touchdowns to start games against Fenwick and Carroll.
With Cheeks.
And they now have a punt return from Aiden Brown tonight against CJ.
Right.
Special teams has been very special indeed for the Badin Rams, and so CJ trying to not allow that to be an advantage for Badin. Grayson is going to run this ball for about 6 yards. And a whistle blowing. Flag on the play, and this is also going to be a holding penalty against the Rams.
Badin shooting themselves in the foot here early in the third quarter. The fumble and now the penalty. They're not helping themselves by any means.
Well, if CJ got the worst of a couple of the close calls in the first half, Badin's getting the brunt of it here.
That's equaling out,
It does even out. Big Blue looks like they just scored, so they're up 17-0 over Sycamore.
Okay.
6.5 more second-level points for Badin there in that game.
And the Middies are leading the Indians 15-13 at the half.
Barnett's.
First and 17.
We're below 10 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Ritzy's going to throw the quick little slant. That is caught. That is number 18, James Brink.
Nice play. They made up the penalty plus got a couple extra yards. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Looks like Mason and Lakota West are tied scoreless at halftime.
Wow.
That's interesting. Brian Kastner's Comets coming out to play some defense. 2nd down and 7. I love this 28-yard eagle at midfield.
It's enormous.
From beak to back of the head feather. An enormous midfield logo. Grayson going to take it.
Nice play.
Wrapped up.
Boy.
By the Eagles.
That's big Mishon Stevens, 5'11", 240.
52 again. There he is.
He's a beast.
He's been a wrecking ball in the interior line all night long for the Eagle defense.
Badin might want to consider doing what the Eagles did and run a little wide here away from that gentleman. He's tough.
This is most likely a pass play for Ritzy.
3rd and 7. I agree with you.
Trips receivers to the right side of the formation as Ritzy takes a snap and looks over to the right.
He's got all day.
He's going to dump it to his Grayson, his running back.
Nice tackle.
Absolutely not, says
Zion
CJ.
Woods. Yes,
Zion Woods.
The senior. And Zion says nope. And
Badin's going to punt here.
Yeah, great secondary coverage there by Chaminade. I mean, he had all day to throw it, and he checked down finally to his last option, the running back. And, you know, Zion did his job, tackled him. Now we got a punt.
You know, Dan, when CJ went in at halftime down 13-3 and having to kick off to start the second half,
right?
I don't know that they could have envisioned. Coffin corner. Uh-oh. Let's see what we got here. It is a touchback, Dan.
Ooh, it was
just
close.
Barely.
I love a coffin corner.
I don't think CJ could have envisioned a start like this in the second half where you're giving up the ball first, down by 10. Let's get a fumble return touchdown, and now a 3-and-out. We got the ball back at the 20-yard line. This is about as good.
It's better than they could ever imagine. I agree with you.
As good as Coach Earl White could have possibly wanted.
All right, so
CJ 6-2. They've lost to Bishop Hartley. No shame there. Hartley 6-2. And then a surprising 35-0 loss a few weeks ago to McNicholas. That's the one score that's going to make people scratch their heads.
Now maybe McNick knew how to defend a run.
Must have. 35-0 was not particularly close. This is a toss sweep.
Trying the wide play, and Badin, nice running, I'll tell you. It looked like he was hitting the backfield, but he plowed forward, got 3.
And the correction, that is not Stacy. That is number 5 for CJ. That is Aiden Lowry.
And that was
Stacy's the one way. Lowry goes the other.
Yeah, Buck on the tackle there for Badin. It's going to bring up 2nd and 8.
Shell game is definitely tricky to call. Tricky to defend.
Yeah.
2nd down and 8 for the Eagles. And a fake handoff that's going to go to Stacy around the outside.
He is flying.
Stacy's got some yardage. Can he bust it all the way? He gets across midfield and is finally wrapped up and tackled by McCaw Samples.
It's kind of a inside reverse, but not quite like that. But it was a misdirection play, is that what I would call it.
Ethan Stacy breaks the Eagles across midfield. And watch out, Badin defense. CJ is on the move.
Boy, they had a heck of a pep talk at halftime. I'm telling you, they're playing inspired ball right now. First and 10,
look how
48.
tight this formation is. Handoff.
Straight up the middle. He's flying. He's
got
gone.
it.
Oh.
Almost to the 20-yard line. That's Aiden Lowry. And another big chunk play for that Eagle offense, gashing the Rams defense.
Micah Samples with a touchdown-saving tackle on the play. CJ has got it going right now. All the way down to the 22, first down.
And remember that missed extra point earlier, Dan?
Yes, that's going to.
It's a 3-point margin right now. We'll see. CJ obviously is thinking a lot bigger plans for this drive than 3.
I know. Crowded formation again.
So Lowry's in motion. Handoff up the middle instead. That is Nigel Wright. That has not been there much of the night other than the first time they ran it.
That's correct. Big defensive lineman there. Or no, that was the linebacker.
And Nigel Wright came into this game as the leading rusher in the GCL co-ed.
Wow, Nick Rings with a tackle for Badin. 2nd and 9, so you're right, that wasn't there. They only got a yard. 6 minutes to go here in the third quarter, fast-moving quarter. Seems that I've been saying it all night with the running.
Lowry in motion. It's going to be a pass play.
Oh, my goodness. And he's sacked.
There's not much.
Oh!
Ball is loose. Are they going to call that an incomplete pass?
There's
a whistle.
There's no way that's an incomplete pass.
There's a whistle.
There's no
way.
And
a very delayed incomplete pass call.
I don't know what the heck that was.
I disagree with that as well. I'd love to see a replay there.
Well, number one, there was no one there to throw
and
it to.
Yordi on the top of your screen there, Dad, is pleading. Absolutely pleading.
There was no one there.
That's not Yordi. Go one more over to the right. There he is.
There was no one there to throw it to. And secondly, the ball was juggled out in front of him.
That was a fumble.
That was
and
fumble
that was
all the way.
Missed. But you win some, you lose some, right? CJ didn't like a fumble call earlier in the game. That handoff up the middle of the fullback. And that's going to be inside the 10-yard line. Continuing to grind his legs toward the goal line. Nigel Wright. Badin's defense can't be worried about that missed call there. Isaac Sullivan's fumble called an incomplete pass.
That was a game changer, I'll tell you that. That's all I'm going to say. You can't rely on your officials to make your plays for you.
That's exactly right. You got to keep playing. Next play. Again, the trap up the middle.
He stopped him.
Not a lot of room that time.
He lost a yard. It's going to set up 3rd down and goal from the 3.
I think it's going to be 2nd and goal there, Dan.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That handoff was to Ethan Stacy up the middle, and he was met in the backfield. No gain there. 2nd down for CJ. Loss of 2. 2nd and goal from the 4.
All right. I was looking at the scoreboard. They had the 2nd down already up.
They were
before
that
the
quick.
play. Yeah,
they were that quick.
They flipped it up.
It's a handoff to the outside. This is Lowry.
Nothing.
Tries to dance his way around. He's also lost some yardage on that play. Ostendorf brings him down.
I think that bad fumble call has inspired Badin after the first play. They are playing angry right now.
You have to be. You
3rd
have
and
to make
4.
the next play. You can't worry about what was or was not called.
3rd and 5. What do you do here, Joel? You keep running, don't you?
If you're CJ, you've not thrown the ball but once all night.
And it was a disaster
And you fumbled on the play.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a bad pass.
It was an incomplete fumble.
This is going to be a fake handoff instead to Stacy. Stacy is wrapped up and tackled again. Ostendorf on the play.
You kicked the field goal if you're CJ.
You absolutely. And you've centered the ball up now for your kicker, Papalios.
And here she comes. I know pulling the hair is legal in football.
That's correct.
And she had him. Yes, we do.
What adjustments would you make for Badin's off? Another. This is.
Move.
Cut it up.
What a great move.
And that's
got to.
that the Wyoming Cowboys have not lost a regular season game since 2015.
Is that an all-time record for Ohio? My goodness.
Over the Cowboys. First game of the year and lost to Harrison. Think. UDO process. Who knows?
Yes.
Because Wyoming was over Columbus.
Well,
Thank you for driving 2 hours. You're already signaling first down. Zach, here's a score that Edgewood, and it's going to be a 2nd down.
Both teams just very
Your guy better hurry off the field.
He got off.
He did. Down to 30 seconds left. It's pretty close. A good one here at Rogers.
We're in a commodity business, so
And we are back here at about the 2-yard line.
Effort. Matt, that was a Yorty drive.
And good.
End of last week's game that they've won 30 tonight and all. I'm sorry.
We've had some. There were a lot of push-ups that night.
Well, Joe, that was Ritzy on the quarterback. The quarterback going in there and saying nada nada. 2nd 11, 1-yard loss.
Ethan Stacy, that was kind of a little bit of an inside trap there, and Badin's defense not full, Dan.
No, they're not.
2nd down and 11 for the Eagles.
I mean, when you think about the Badin defense here, sure it's a close game, but they have not given up a touchdown in this game, okay? It was a fumble return off.
It's true. It was a fumble return touchdown. Yeah. CJ's defense has actually scored more than CJ's offense.
Yes.
There is a flag on this play. This is going to be in the backfield. This is one of those possible drive killers, a holding penalty on the Eagles. Very frustrating for Chaminade-Julienne here, Dan.
And Badin's going to back them up, of course. And is it from the spot of the foul?
Spot of the foul.
So that if the play
flag was in the backfield, it's going to be even from there.
So it might be half the distance to goal. It might be what, the 9-yard line, 10-yard line, something like that.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Looks like the flag is around the 17, 18-yard line. Back around the 9 if they go ahead and walk this off. They were asking Yorty if they wanted to accept the penalty, and Yorty said he did.
Critical drive here for Chaminade because I'm telling you, they get bottled up down here. They're going to lose the field position battle.
Even more.
Badin will get the ball right around 40, 50-yard line, with a chance to drive down and clinch this game. So this is the ball game here.
2nd down and 20 again for CJ at their own 10-yard line. This is going to be a pass play. Wants to throw, and Sullivan is going to be wrapped up and tackled. And that's Nate Ostendorf. Going to wrap him up on that.
We'll call that a keeper play by Sullivan.
Gain of about 5.
3rd and 15.
And the clock continues to churn, says Dad working the camera, which is true. 10.5 left to go.
This is where, being a Lions fan, I've seen my share of gadget plays, and this wouldn't be a bad idea. See a little gadget play, right,
You're
Joe?
at your own 15-yard line. The field position is not
gutsy.
ideal.
It's gutsy. Why not?
And another pass play for Sullivan. throws this pass off the fingertips of Lowry. Incomplete pass.
They tried to throw it. Badin could have picked it, I'll tell you.
CJ is definitely not comfortable throwing the football.
Not at all.
It's very strange to say that. That might be the first time I've ever used that phrase in my life.
I think it's never been uttered, ever, ever. I think you just said one.
And so the Eagles are going to punt. Final score, this is not going to be great for the Badin Rams. Withrow beats Hughes, 50-7. Not surprising, but.
Well, Badin wants those second-level points.
That's right. That's right.
4th and 15. And now Badin is lining up to return this punt at their own 48, respecting the punter. He got off a great kick. Wow, what a punt.
Backwards.
What a punt.
All the way down there inside the 25-yard line. How about that? 25 and another 35.
60-yard
and another
punt.
2 beyond that. 62 yards.
62, I'm sorry.
62
I
yards.
shorted him. What a clutch punt.
Well, CJ's got the wind advantage in the fourth quarter. We said that wind is kind of blowing more from right to left across your screen.
Well, he overkicked the Badin returner, and then the ball, of course, you saw on the screen. What a kind bounce it had.
Fortuitous bounce.
Roll. So Badin is thinking they get it to 50. They're way back at the 23. First down Rams.
Well, if their offensive line plays well enough, simply more yardage to be able to take more time off. But Badin's got to have their offensive line dominant like they did in the previous drive in order to accomplish that. Handoff up the middle. That's Grayson.
Nice play, though. He got 3 yards, 4
Carved
yards.
out a nice little gain. Purcell Marion has scored again. They are up 27-14 over Roger Bacon. Not a score that Madison or Badin would like to see tonight.
We have a 2nd and 7, Joel. And what do you think if you're the Rams? You content to just kind of plow that? You're going to mix some passes in? I say you keep throwing the ball. I mean,
I would love if I can keep gashing them on the run. Make them do an all-out run blitz, and then, of course, you can certainly then throw it over the top.
As much as Badin throws the ball, and half of the yards this year are by the pass, Ritzy has 1 interception in the entire season.
And it was a dumb luck interception. There's a nice throw up high. Good call on that, Dan.
Yep.
Pass is complete to number 2.
You got to do what you do well. You got to mix it up. You can't go into a cocoon and try and stall. You got to win the game now, and that's what they're trying to do.
You can win it on offense just as easily as you can win it on defense.
Absolutely, and it's a very makeable 3rd and 1 here.
Final score from Indianapolis: Bishop Chatard goes 9-0, beats Elder 34-7.
Boy,
wow.
that's a big win for them. What's their nickname and their motto?
I don't know about Bishop Chatard. Looked like a Trojan of some sort. Handoff
Nice
to Grayson
run.
on 3rd and short, and a first down.
Now that was flat-out domination at the line of scrimmage by Badin. I mean, everyone knew the run was going to happen. 6 yards on a play.
And
clock
tick,
is
tick, tick, tick,
tick, tick, tick, tick, tick, tick. That's correct.
Yes, Indianapolis Bishop Chatard is the Trojans, Dan.
Very good. How's my St. Mary's Rough Riders doing?
The Rough Riders have struggled this year.
They've been rough riding at the Rough Riders.
They have been roughing it this
Okay.
year. That's for sure.
All right. 1st and 10, Badin, 37-yard line. We are down to 8 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the contest. Badin taking their time now, as they should.
Play clock ticking down below 5 before they hand that to Grayson. Grayson wrapped up and tackled right around the line of scrimmage by Dorian Carter Jr. Not a lot of room there. Dan, your St. Mary's Memorial Rough Riders are 4-4.
Oh, that's not too bad.
They've got Elida tonight and Bath to finish up next week. They are 14th in Region 14.
Okay. So
everything's ahead of them. They do control their own destiny for the playoffs.
Just like the name.
The Rough Riders of St. Mary's Memorial.
You just
CJ and Badin both saw them in the playoffs a couple years ago.
It's just an oxymoron, a St. Mary's Rough Rider. That's for sure.
2nd down and long. Grayson's going to try to bounce us outside. He is wrapped up and tackled by Zion Woods.
I'm not going to criticize Grayson because that's not my style, but I think he needs to maybe hit up the hole better and not run wide.
You're going to have a face mask on this.
Really?
Personal foul, face mask, Chaminade-Julienne.
That is a killer penalty.
Absolutely
for
killer. Back-breaking penalty.
Back-breaking is the word.
Flag got thrown right away. No hesitation from the side judge.
Did you see it happen, Joel?
I saw the side judge
Good
put the
job,
flag out
Neil.
right away.
Personal foul.
15
Thank you, Neil.
yards.
That's huge.
Field position, everything you gained on that 62-yard punt, that's out the window now.
This
You've
is
lost
kind of
about
where
3 minutes of clock as well, and here are the Rams.
Wow.
Trying to churn this win out.
So Badin kills themselves with a fumble, so the Eagles are in the game, and now the Eagles kill themselves with a face mask, keeping Badin drive alive.
Wapakoneta wins tonight. They're one of the teams that's clinched in this region as well. They beat Bath.
First down,
10.
Badin, good. 46-yard line, and clock is not running. Down to 1 second on the play clock. They just got it off.
Handoff up the middle to Yordi. And Yordi's not going to have much. Wrapped up our favorite nose tackle tonight, Dan. Involved in the play again, 52. That's Mishon Stevens, the senior, 5'11", 240.
He's been just an unstoppable force in the middle. I like how Yordi's covering the ball with both hands when he runs. That's the little things you got to, as the coach's son, you don't want to fumble. He fumbled earlier, and he doesn't want to do it again.
Second down and 9 for the Rams.
Badin taking
the play clock down below 10. Quick little pass to Buckle. Complete. He needs to get down in bounds, says Badin. And he is wrapped up by number 3. That's Kaleon Russell, the one who returned the touchdown for the CJ.
And the other announcer for CJ said, "What a game Buckle has had," and I'm going to second that. Boy,
Buckle's had a very nice game.
We have called his name a lot. Big third down coming up, 3rd and 2. What do you call here? Alcoa makes the call. Joel Sack.
I run the ball up the middle.
Run the ball up the middle.
Yordi, up the gut.
Yordi up the gut. I think it's the safest play.
Look at 33 for your H-back to pull from one side of the formation to the other.
I'm gonna go past just to be contrarian, but I think you'll get the call. I think it'll be a run.
Here's your handoff to Yordi behind 33.
Oh, there you go.
First down.
You called it, and it happened pretty easily, didn't it?
Lead blocker on the play
is
number 33, Trent Owens, sophomore linebacker.
You got to give Trent some credit there. I mean, good job by that, Joel. We just can't glorify the running back. He's got to get some blocking, right?
This is the formation that Badin used against Fenwick with Yordi as the lead blocker and Lem Grayson back there. Now they got Yordi as the back and Owens as the lead blocker. First down and 10. We're below 5 minutes left to go now as that clock becomes an enemy of the Eagles. And Badin continues to churn and churn and churn.
Not the bird song, though, right?
Yeah. Ritzy's looking long. Easy flag from 2 different angles.
He was
Buckle
grabbed.
got tangled up, and
Buckle got grabbed down there because you know what? It's not PI. I mean, it's not at the spot like in the NFL.
No,
so
it'll be
saved a touchdown by doing that.
It might be worse.
Yeah.
We'll see if they mark it at the spot of the foul or if they give him a full 15 yards on this.
I think it's
we'll
15, isn't it?
Pass interference defense. As CJ tried to unbuckle the Rams receiver.
And
to the 16-yard line it goes.
And now I would say you could technically look at field goal. Badin, of course, wants a touchdown, but another score here by Badin of any sort
really puts the kibosh on this effort
by
CJ.
It does.
And what a great effort by CJ. They played really well
tonight. They played great.
I mean, you lose to McNicholas 35-0, and then you show up here against this 8-0 team, and you are absolutely in this game from start to finish.
And, you know, the way they started the game, driving down and getting that field goal, that was just a harbor of things to come. Now, they haven't busted through the end zone offensively, but they played defensively great.
Handoff to Yordi. He's going to get some yardage there, not a whole lot, as Nigel Wright makes the stop.
I like Yordi's effort there. He never goes down quickly on first contact. You see at the end there, he did another little spin move, got an extra 2 yards there.
That's it.
2nd and 8. We're down to 4 minutes and 30 seconds in the ball game. Badin looking at the sidelines. The clock's ticking down very deliberately. They're taking their time, which is what good teams do. It's all about clock management.
Yep.
When we have a snap here, guys, it's going to be with about 4 minutes and 1 second to go if they wait till 1 second.
You see the play clock there in the background, too.
Yeah, Neil's got it, the red one.
6. Grayson, the running back by Ritzy now. And this is Grayson following Owens as the lead blocker.
Nice.
Going inside the 5-yard line. This should be a 1st and goal now for the Rams.
Rams
We're below 4 minutes left to go,
They're
Dan.
imposing their will, as they say, on the offensive line. You can just see they're wearing them down. And Grayson that time, no nonsense, didn't skate the outside, hit the hole, hit it hard, ran straight up, very Yorty-like in that run.
Yeah, not a lot of fanciness there.
No.
Grayson using his speed. That was just a kind of a direct cut right behind Owens. Trent Owens, the lead blocker on a lot of these runs, is the H-back here. He's been wonderful for Badin on this drive.
Badin would absolutely be silly to try and throw here. I expect a Grayson run. What do you think?
Yeah, behind Owens, the left tight end there again. This is Grayson. Up the middle.
Touchdown!
And Len Grayson is in for the Rams.
Huge, huge statement-making drive for the Badin Rams, playing like the number 2 AP team in the state of Ohio in Division III, behind the Toledo St. Francis.
Toledo Central Catholic.
Central Catholic.
Fighting Irish.
Fighting Irish. And we'll tell you the story why they're number 1. It's interesting. After this extra point.
And so Badin's extra point is up and good. The Rams with a 14-point lead.
Toledo St. Francis, Joel.
Toledo Central Catholic. Dan.
Okay, thank you. Correct me again. Why are they number 1, Joel? Give us your analysis.
Well, they are the defending state champions.
Right.
But not of Division III.
Right.
They're the defending state champions of Division II.
So they had a few less enrollees. They got to drop down to Division III.
They dropped down to D3. The team they beat in the state finals last year was Akron Archbishop Hoban.
Okay.
Who was the only team, I believe, to beat Lakewood St. Edwards this year. I mean,
wow.
Archbishop Hoban is incredible.
So not to be Mr. Everybody likes to say one game at a time.
That's right.
But they are there at the finish line, I think.
Well,
I don't see them losing.
Badin fans, obviously, you know as well as anybody, Badin loses last year in the regional final to Tippecanoe. It's not guaranteed to make the state semis, not by any stretch.
No, it's not.
Badin will be the heavy favorite for sure in Region 12. As here's our return from Chaminade-Julienne. And the wrap-up is by number 38, the mystery man for Badin, who's not on anybody's roster. Return there by...
That is Roger Glass for Badin.
Roger Glass.
No, that's the stadium. My fault.
The namesake.
We got to give him a name, don't we?
Got to give him a name.
We've said Roger Glass enough tonight. We'll say 38 is Roger Glass Jr.
But yeah, Badin will be the presumptive favorite in Division III, Region 12. But you've got a couple teams out of Region 11. London just won again tonight. They're 9-0.
Right.
Bishop Watterson was playing Harrison tonight.
Stoppage and play here as Badin's player has cramped up. Neil, did you get the number? Nope.
Looks like Watterson is leading Harrison right before halftime, 17-6.
Number 2, thank you, Neil. He zoomed in. Badin Ram, number 2, cramping up.
Connor Wright.
That would be Connor Wright, the senior.
So, yes, London and Watterson. Those are kind of the 2 favorites in Region 11. They're both undefeated. Of course, Jackson is hanging around there, too. We saw them, Dad, earlier this year. And so if Badin does make the state semis, it's not going to be an easy opponent.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm going to just say this about Badin. They have played a killer schedule. They are prepared. They have played some tough teams.
Hamilton High, you didn't know they were going to be as tough as they ended up being, but they have been every bit
beating
that
a
good.
Division I team to start out the season. The Badin Rams did that, and they were using all those Hamilton High second-level points to their advantage.
Very much so, very much so. And then, of course, Toledo Central Catholic will be them, and Chardon will kind of be the favorites on the northern end in Region 9 and Region 10 in those regions.
Chardon's kind of become like a Valley View, like a dynasty.
They're so good. Well, Badin saw them firsthand, and where every bit they're equal, just didn't have the ball last in that game 2 years ago up at Canton.
Yeah, and that was Ritzy's debut, wasn't it?
It was his second game as a starter. Yep. There's a pass attempt, incomplete on a 1st and 10. CJ's got to throw the ball now. This is not.
It was almost picked off by Badin. I mean, Samples was pleading for the interception. He didn't get it.
CJ in the shotgun, by the way, for the first time all night. Isaac Sullivan.
Sullivan on the season has 106 yards. That's on the season, folks. That's not the first half. That's not the second half.
There's a completed pass intended for Kaleon Russell, and Russell's going to catch that ball and have a first down.
There you go.
There's a productive pass play for the Eagles.
It was kind of a wobbly duck, but it got the job done, didn't it?
It did.
First and 10, CJ. Clock
Sullivan
is ticking.
still in the shotgun.
3 minutes to go here in the fourth.
Sullivan's looking to throw. Ball's tipped.
Almost picked.
And
oh, my
incomplete.
goodness.
Is that Ostendorf again?
42.
He's all over the place on defense. Lurking linebacker. He was playing a quarterback spy there. Nate Ostendorf reached up into the sky, tipped that ball, couldn't come down with it. Broke up the pass.
Second and 10, 2:59, Joel. Badin has done it. They have forced CJ into throwing the ball. Something that they do not like to do, but they have to.
They have to. There's 3 minutes left now.
That's right.
Second down and 10 for the Eagles.
Another pass.
Sullivan getting pressured.
And he's going to be sacked.
Driven down by the Rams. Looks like that is number 4, Enninger, with the sack of Sullivan.
Yeah, I'll say also Royce Rachel on the tackle. Third and 15. We're down to 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go.
And ticking.
Tick, tick, tick.
Lakota West has scored. They tied the game 7-all with Mason. Carlisle has scored twice. They lead Madison 27-20 now in the fourth quarter. Third down and 15. Nice throw by Sullivan. Down the seam. Incomplete. Intended for number 5. That's Lowry.
You know what? You see the way, Sullivan can rifle that ball.
He
it's
can.
just surprising to me.
They don't use it more.
They are so good at running the ball, I guess. They're going to,
They don't want to throw it much.
I don't
Fairfield is kicking a field goal. They lead Middletown 16-15 at Barnett.
Goodness. Is that the WMOH game?
I don't think MOH has that game tonight. I don't know who they have, but here we go. Fourth down.
Fourth and 15. This is it.
Sullivan's looking. Ball is going to be broken up. Incomplete.
Nice
Looks like
play.
Number 8 for Badin. That is McCaw. Samples makes the break up to end this one.
Samples almost had to pick earlier in the drive, so he makes the stop. Valiant effort there, but this is going to go in the Rams win column. They're going to be 9-0. And who do they have next week, Joel?
McNicholas.
McNicholas Rockets. McNick is, I think, currently 4-4.
Oh, McNick is better than that, I think, are they?
I don't know.
No, you're right, Dan. They played a really tough non-conference schedule. They played Wheelersburg.
And where are they ranked in the region?
McNick is 8th right now, even with a 4-4 record in their region.
Okay.
And they're walloping Carroll tonight, so they may climb to 7th before all said and done. We'll see how this
Badin
goes.
once again plays a team that doesn't have a losing record. It seems to be the
MO.
Yes.
The whole conference seems to not have a losing record other than Carroll.
Running back Grayson on the run on the first down. Badin is really just all about milk and clock at this point. We're down to 156.
I don't think CJ's even going to take a timeout.
I don't think CJ.
Down by 2 scores, you don't throw the ball.
Why prolong any chance of injury at this point? You know.
Badin needs one first down if CJ doesn't want the timeout. So
hats off to CJ, boy. They played hard tonight.
They did.
Those kids play hard. I can see why they can score so much being a running team. Badin's defense was up to the task tonight.
Handoff again to Grayson. Up the middle. Wrapped up and tackled by Joe Hudson. It's going to be third down. And remember, Dan.
Yes.
CJ's 13 points. Badin's defense only gave up 6 of those.
That's correct.
Badin's offense gave up 7 of those on a fumble return.
That's the thing about Badin. Everybody loves offense, but Badin's defense is what is doing it for him this season.
They play really good D. Really hard to score against them. Alter put 24 up last week. That was kind of a bit of an anomaly.
That was definitely an anomaly, but Alter's got a heck of a quarterback, and he showed it. Was he only a sophomore, I believe?
Yeah, so, young. Very young guy.
So I think you're going to see Alter rise to their former prominence as they have so often in the past.
Baden's going to take a timeout here.
Baden Alter is kind of
delay
like
game
Ohio
penalty.
State, Michigan in their conference.
Baden's going to take a delay game or a timeout. I think Yorty actually wanted the timeout.
Yep, Baden called the timeout. You're right. Well, Joel, 37 seconds to go here.
There should be one more running play or even a kneel down if CJ doesn't want to take the timeout. Get out of here with a win, 9-0, with McNicholas standing between them and the undefeated season again. They've not lost a game since October 11th of 2019 in the regular season.
17-3 to
Chaminade-Julienne
Very
right
good.
here at Glass Stadium. This was the last place where Baden has lost a regular season game.
Who was the quarterback for that 2019 team?
Oh, my goodness.
We'll
You're
figure
going to ask
that.
me that question, huh?
That's okay. I thought you could pull that one out, Joel. You seem to know everything as far as Baden Ram football.
Looks like it was Ryan Miner.
There you go.
Quarterback for CJ, had 1,459
No,
yards
I wanted
that season.
Baden's quarterback.
Oh, Baden's?
Yeah.
That was Zach Schweitzer.
Oh, there you go. See, that was an easier question.
There it is. There's a couple quarterbacks to go.
Well, Minor, I don't know if I would have known that one either. 3rd and 4 here.
Grayson's going to take the final handoff of the game.
Trying to run
As long as he
wide.
stays in bounds, and he does stay in bounds. And if CJ does not want to take a timeout,
Baden just had a little more talent, and Baden's defense, once again, the unsung hero tonight, limiting CJ to basically 2 field goals. And Baden wins tonight here at Roger Glass Stadium. Final score here tonight, 27-13. Joel, I had a good time. It's a good close game, wasn't it?
definitely a good close game, no doubt about it. CJ was down 13-3 at the half. It looked like Badin was the better team by a little, but was definitely the better team. CJ had a fantastic third quarter, outscoring Badin 10-0, getting the turnover and the touchdown on the fumble return, getting the field goal to tie the game, and giving Badin a little more sleepless of an occurrence.
Yes.
A few nightmares. But when all was said and done, when it was 13-all and Badin was looking down the barrel at possibly 8-1, the offensive line got it together. Badin put it behind the running game. Grayson, Yorty, Owens, the lead blocker, and that offensive line to exert their will on this ball game, putting their thumbprints all over that.
Great description. Couldn't have said any better myself.
Badin Rams will have clinched a home game for sure. Maybe by the time all is said and done, depending on the other scores, we'll have clinched a first round or a double home game, top 4 spot. If we look here at the Division III standings, they're going to get 33 more second-level points from this game tonight.
The rich get richer.
The rich get richer, plus 6 from DeSales, probably 5.5 from Edgewood. Hamilton is only up by 3 last we saw. Sycamore's trying to make a late run at that one.
Come on, Hamilton.
But Badin, you see, is a pretty big gap between them and Tippecanoe and Trotwood as it is. Tippecanoe and Trotwood have already won their games yesterday. And so Badin is going to zoom even farther past those two.
Joel, looking at your crystal ball, do you see Badin maybe clinching a home playoff game after tonight, or maybe
I
two?
see Badin clinching at least 1 after tonight, maybe 2, depending
All
on
right.
the score of other games. We'll see what happens. Badin, if they beat McNick next week, will be the #1 seed. I don't see any way around that.
No.
And the question is, do the Monroe Hornets slip in at 16?
I hope they do.
I mean, Carroll's got McNick tonight. They were down 28-0. They've got Fenwick next week. That's not a game they should win.
The Falcons.
Tecumseh's got Urbana and J.A.
Okay, thank you.
Those are not all that winnable for either for Tecumseh. Thurgood Marshall's going to have Trotwood Madison the last week of the season. And the other thing I would like to see with this bracket as it comes out,
Yes.
where is Trotwood Madison?
Yes.
They've already beaten Meadowdale Wednesday night. They already got points from Dunbar last night. They're playing Thurgood Marshall, which is not worth a ton of points. Badin would love to see Trotwood end up on the 2 or 3 line and would love to see them avoid that 4 or 5 line in terms of easiness of the bracket and who you'd like to see as possible opponents. Trotwood Madison, tough opponent.
You don't want Badin to see Troutwood.
Not
That's for
too
sure.
early, at least. Maybe in
Yeah.
a regional final, but you'd love to avoid them up until that point. Obviously, Yorty and Badin are not going to be afraid of anybody that lines up against them, but in terms of scouting the opponents and who you match up well against, Trotwood could be a potential problem in their
Okay.
future in the region. So the final score from Roger Glass Stadium in beautiful downtown Dayton, the Gem City. The Badin Rams, 27. The Chaminade-Julienne Eagles 13. We will see you maybe in the playoffs. Who
Playoffs.
knows?
Playoffs.
I'll hear some of you guys on MOH later on tonight. This is Joel Sackenheim with Dan Vogt signing off from Dayton.